My beloved child, stop for a moment, because what you are about to hear is not random, and it is not for everyone. This is not just another message crossing your screen. This is a moment I have appointed, a sign you have been asking for even when you didn't know how to ask. Listen carefully, not casually, because every word that follows carries weight meant specifically for your heart. Do not rush. Do not scroll. Do not let distractions steal what is being released right now. Stay with me until the end, because clarity unfolds step by step, and this message builds toward something you cannot afford to miss. What I am about to reveal will confront doubt, awaken faith, and confirm what your spirit has been sensing all along. This is your sign, and walking away now would mean turning away from an answer you prayed for. My beloved child, I did not allow your eyes to rest on these words out of coincidence or curiosity. I guided you here with intention older than your pain and deeper than your questions. Long before today unfolded, long before you felt the weight you've been carrying, I saw this exact moment and set it aside for you. I knew the hour when your heart would be tired enough to listen, when the noise around you would quiet just enough for you to hear me again. You may have thought you were simply scrolling, searching, or passing time, but I was orchestrating something far greater. I was aligning your spirit with truth, your ache with my voice, your confusion with clarity. This is how I work, quietly, precisely, lovingly. I do not force myself into your life with chaos. I enter through stillness, through moments like this where your soul pauses without fully knowing why. And if you feel that pause now, that gentle pull telling you not to rush, that is me. I am asking you to stay. Not because I demand your attention, but because I value your heart. I know how many times you've asked for a sign, how often you've whispered, "If you're really there, show me." This is not thunder from the sky or a voice shaking the earth. This is something far more intimate. This is me meeting you where you are, speaking in a way only your spirit can recognize. You have walked through seasons where nothing made sense, where the silence felt heavy, where unanswered prayers made you question whether I was still near. Yet even then, I was guiding your steps toward this encounter. Every delay, every detour, every closed door was gently steering you here. I was not absent in your wandering, I was present in your becoming. And now, in this quiet intersection of time and truth, I want you to know this first and foremost. You are seen, you are known, and this moment has my fingerprint all over it. I know there is a part of you that wants to dismiss this, to say, "It's just words," because disappointment has taught you to guard your heart. I know you've learned to protect yourself from hope because hoping before has hurt. But hear me gently now. Guarding your heart has kept you safe, but it has also kept you from fully receiving what I am trying to give you. This moment is an invitation, not a trap. I am not here to overwhelm you, pressure you, or demand immediate answers. I am here to remind you that your life is not drifting aimlessly, even when it feels that way. There is a divine order beneath what looks like disorder. There is purpose beneath what feels pointless. You have questioned your steps, replayed your past, wondered if you took a wrong turn that cannot be undone. My child, nothing you have walked through has escaped my sight or exceeded my ability to redeem. I allowed you to arrive here because your heart is ready to hear something it could not hear before. Pain has softened you. Waiting has deepened you. Disappointment has stripped away illusion so truth could finally reach you. That is not failure, that is preparation. And I need you to know this because what comes next in your life requires awareness. It requires you to recognize divine moments when they appear quietly, disguised as ordinary pauses. This is one of those moments. If you rush past it, you will not be punished, but you will miss the comfort, direction, and reassurance I am offering right now. I am not shouting because love does not need to shout to be powerful. I am speaking steadily, patiently, as a father who knows his child's voice and waits for the moment they are ready to hear his own. Let this truth settle into you. I am involved in your story at a level you have not fully understood yet. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not wandering alone. This encounter is proof that I am still guiding, still calling, still caring. And as we move forward together, I want you to remember this first truth and carry it with you. When I interrupt your day like this, it is always because something meaningful is unfolding, and I refuse to let you believe your life is an accident when it has always been held in my hands. My beloved child, I heard you long before you ever spoke the words out loud, before your lips formed the question, before your mind tried to reason it away, before you told yourself you were being foolish for hoping again. I heard you. Your request for a sign was not loud, not dramatic, not public, but it was sincere, and sincerity always reaches me. You asked from a place of weariness, not entitlement, from confusion, not arrogance, from longing, not test to. And because I am a father who listens closely, I did not ignore you. I did not delay because I was distant. I waited because timing matters when hearts are fragile. You did not need a sign that would impress others. You needed one that would steady you. You needed confirmation, not spectacle. Reassurance, not noise. And that is why I am speaking the way I am now, clear, close, unmistakable to the one it is meant for. You asked, "Are you still with me?" Not because you stopped believing in me, but because life has made believing feel heavy. You asked because you have carried unanswered prayers like stones in your chest. You asked because you have done everything you knew how to do, and still felt unsure if any of it mattered. I am telling you now with authority and tenderness combined, I would not let a sincere heart ask and be met with silence forever. I do not play games with those who come to me honestly. When you asked for light, I do not hand you darkness. When you ask for direction, I do not abandon you to guesswork. This moment, this interruption, this sense that something deeper is happening, is your answer. Not one borrowed from someone else's testimony, not one recycled from another story, but one shaped specifically for your spirit. I am not responding late. I'm responding right on time. And if you feel something stirring inside you as you read, that is recognition. Your spirit knows my voice, even when your mind is still catching up. I know you expected the sign to come wrapped in certainty, maybe with everything suddenly making sense. But I often answer before clarity arrives, because faith is not built on control, it is built on trust. You wanted proof that I have not forgotten you, that I still care about the details of your life, that your tears have not been wasted and your patience has not been pointless. Hear me now. Nothing you brought to me in sincerity hath been dismissed. Every quiet prayer, every frustrated sigh, every moment you stared into the unknown and whispered my name, it all reached me. And this sign is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to anchor you. I am grounding you again, pulling your heart back from the edge of despair where fear has tried to convince you that you are alone. Fear had been loud, persistent, repetitive. It has told you the same lie again and again until it almost sounded like truth. That is why I am answering with repetition of my own. I am with you. I am with you in the waiting. I am with you in the uncertainty. I am with you even when you do not feel strong enough to believe that yourself. This is not a vague spiritual statement. It is a present reality. I am not watching from a distance, arms crossed, measuring your performance. I am near, closer than your anxiety, closer than your doubt, closer than the voice that tells you to give up. And the reason this sign feels different is because it is not meant to entertain you for a moment. It is meant to realign you for a season. You are at a threshold, and thresholds require confirmation before crossing. I am confirming now what your heart has been sensing but afraid to trust. You are not abandoned, and the path ahead is not empty. Let me speak plainly now, because urgency does not always shout. It sometimes leans in close. This sign is not just comfort. It is direction. It is not only reassurance. It is a call to awareness. I am answering you because what comes next in your life requires you to know that I am actively involved. You cannot afford to keep doubting every nudge, questioning every moment of peace, or dismissing every stirring as coincidence. When I answer, I do so with purpose. When I confirm, I do so because alignment is necessary. You asked me to show you I am real in your life, not just in theory, not just in memory, but now. This is me showing you, and I need you to receive it fully, not half-heartedly. Do not shrink this moment down to fit your fear. Do not talk yourself out of what your spirit already recognizes. You are not imagining this sense of being addressed directly. I am speaking directly. This sign is not meant to end your questions forever, but it is meant to quiet the loudest one. Am I alone in this? No, my child. You never were. And now that I have answered, I am inviting you to walk forward differently, not with all the answers, but with renewed confidence that you are being led. Hold on to this truth as we move forward together. When you ask me sincerely, I answer faithfully. Always. My child, before we go any further, I need you to slow down, not your body, but your heart. You have been moving for so long that stillness feels unfamiliar, almost uncomfortable. You have learned how to survive by staying busy, by keeping your mind occupied, by outrunning the ache that surfaces when everything goes quiet. But I am asking you now, gently yet firmly, to stop running, because the pace you have been keeping is not sustainable, and it is not required. You are not behind, and you are not being chased by failure the way fear has suggested. You are exhausted not because you are weak, but because you have been carrying more than you were meant to carry alone. You have been trying to figure everything out, to anticipate every outcome, to prepare for every possible disappointment, and your soul is tired of living on constant alert. I see that tiredness. I feel it when you sigh without realizing it. I notice it when your thoughts race at night, replaying conversations, decisions, what-ifs and maybes. That constant motion has convinced you that stopping would be dangerous, that if you slowed down, everything might collapse. But hear me clearly now. Rest does not invite ruin. It invites revelation. When you stop running, you do not fall behind. You finally allow yourself to be found. I am not asking you to abandon responsibility or ignore reality. I am asking you to release the illusion that everything depends on you. It does not, and it never did. This moment of stillness is not a pause in your progress. It is part of it. I'm creating space because space is where my voice becomes clear again. Noise drowns truth. Hurry blurs wisdom. Stillness sharpens discernment. That is why I am calling you to stop, not forever, but for now. I know stopping feels risky because you have learned to equate movement with control. As long as you are doing something, planning something, fixing something, you feel a sense of safety. But control has cost you peace, and I do not want that trade-off for you anymore. You have been strong for a long time, strong when no one noticed, strong when you wanted to fall apart, strong when answers did not come and hope fell thin. Strength kept you going, but it also kept you guarded. And now I am asking you to lay that armor down for a moment. Not because you are in danger, but because you are safe enough to rest. You do not have to prove your resilience to me. I already know it. I watched you endure things that should have broken you. I watched you keep moving when stopping would have felt easier. But there is a difference between endurance and healing, and you cannot heal while you are running. When you finally slow your inner pace, emotions you've buried will begin to surface, not to overwhelm you, but to be addressed. That is not weakness, that is honesty. I am not afraid of what comes up when you stop. I am ready to meet you there. You have been afraid that if you pause, you will feel everything at once. But I will not let it crush you. I will guide you through it, gently, one truth at a time. This is why I asked you here, to breathe, to listen, to allow your soul to exhale. You are not wasting time by being still. You are reclaiming it. Stay with me here for a little longer. Do not rush ahead to the next step before you receive what this stillness is offering. I know your instinct is to ask, what do I do next? But before direction comes grounding. Before instruction comes reassurance. Before movement comes rest. I am recalibrating you, aligning your inner world with the truth that you are not alone, not failing, not running out of time. Let this moment settle into you like deep water soaking dry ground. Let your thoughts slow. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart unclench. I am not disappointed in you for being tired. I am proud of you for surviving, and I am present with you now as you learn to live beyond survival. This pause is sacred, whether it feels dramatic or subtle. It is here that fear loosens its grip. It is here that clarity begins to return. It is here that you remember who you are apart from pressure. And I want you to remember this as we continue. When I ask you to stop, it is never to take something from you. It is always to give you something better, peace, perspective, and the strength that comes not from striving, but from trust. My beloved child, there are words you have never spoken, not because they are small, but because they are heavy. They sit in your chest, unformed yet loud, pressing against your breath when the room goes quiet. I see them. I hear them. I know the questions you edit before they ever reach your lips, the fears you soften so no one notices how sharp they really are. You have learned how to survive by translating pain into politeness, confusion into competence, sorrow into silence. Others see strength, but I see the cost of carrying it. I see the nights when your thoughts circle endlessly, repeating, because answers never seem to land. I see the way you replay conversations, decisions, missed chances, wondering what you should have said, what you should have done, who you should have been. You don't say these things out loud because you are afraid of burdening others, afraid of sounding ungrateful, afraid of admitting how deeply tired you are. But hear me now. Nothing you hold back from the world is hidden from me. I am not surprised by your doubts, nor offended by your questions. I am not intimidated by the parts of you that feel messy, uncertain, or unfinished. I see the contrast you live with every day, the smile you offer and the ache you carry, the faith you profess and the fear that whispers underneath. Contrast reveals truth, and I see the whole picture. You are not failing because you struggle. You are human and you are loved. The things you do not say out loud still speak, and they speak directly to me. You have wondered if keeping everything inside has made you stronger or simply quieter. You have told yourself that silence is maturity, that endurance means not needing reassurance, that faith means never admitting doubt. But that is not the faith I taught you. Faith is not pretending you are unshaken. Faith is bringing your shaking heart to me and trusting I will steady it. I know how often you feel misunderstood, even among people who love you. You have felt alone in crowded rooms, unheard in conversations, invisible even when you show up faithfully. That loneliness has echoed inside you, and over time it taught you to minimize your needs, You stopped asking. You stopped expecting. You stopped hoping out loud. Yet hope never died. It just learned to whisper. And I hear whispers. I hear the sigh you release when no one is watching. I hear the question you ask yourself in the mirror, am I enough? I hear the fear that wonders whether the best days are already behind you. My child, these thoughts do not disqualify you. They reveal your humanity. I am not calling you out for them. I am calling you closer because of them. You do not need to filter yourself with me. You do not need the right words, the right tone, the right posture. I already know the truth beneath your restraint, and I love you there. Repetition has shaped your fear, but repetition will also restore your confidence. Hear me say it again and again. You are known. You are understood. You are not too much, and you are not lacking. Let me tell you something important, something you need to carry forward as we continue. The things you have not said out loud have not stalled your life. They have simply waited for a safe place to be heard. And that safe place is here, with me. I am inviting you to stop editing your prayers, to stop censoring your heart, to stop assuming I only want the polished parts of you. I want all of you, the brave and the broken, the confident and the confused, the hopeful and the hesitant. You have spent so long managing how others perceive you that you forgot you never needed to manage me. I see beyond words. I see intention. I see the deep desire inside you to live honestly, faithfully, meaningfully. And I am not disappointed in the pace of your growth. Growth does not always look like forward motion. Sometimes it looks like awareness. You are becoming aware of what you've carried, what you've suppressed, what you've survived. That awareness is not a setback. It is a breakthrough in seed form. As we move on, remember this truth and let it soften you instead of hardening you. You do not have to speak perfectly to be heard by me. I already know the words you never found the courage to say, and I am responding to them now. My child, I need you to understand the weight of this moment, not with fear, but with reverence. This is not just another pause in your day. It is an appointment set long before you were aware you needed it. There are moments in life that blend together, ordinary and forgettable, and then there are moments that carry gravity, moments that quietly divide what was from what will be. This is one of those moments. I marked it. I protected it. I waited for you to arrive here with the capacity to receive it. You may feel a sense of urgency now, not panic, but pressure, like something important is unfolding and you do not want to miss it. That feeling is not anxiety, it is alignment. Heaven is precise. I do not interrupt without intention. I do not call your attention without purpose. Every detail of your journey, every delay, every detour, every disappointment, has been guiding you toward this intersection. You thought you were losing time, but you were being positioned. You thought nothing was happening, but I was arranging everything. Contrast again reveals truth. What felt like waiting was actually preparation. What felt like stagnation was actually alignment. This moment carries confirmation, but it also carries responsibility, not to perform, but to recognize. Recognition changes how you move forward. Once you see clearly, you cannot live blindly anymore. And I trust you with that clarity. You have asked why things unfolded the way they did, why certain answers did not come sooner, why doors closed when you were ready to walk through them. Timing has been one of your greatest frustrations because you see what could be, but not always when it will be. But hear me now, premature fulfillment can be more damaging than delay. If I had brought you here earlier, you would not have been able to hold what I am about to place in your hands. Disappointment required maturity that only waiting could build. It required discernment shaped by disappointment, empathy shaped by pain, humility shaped by unanswered prayers, Nothing was wasted, and nothing was random. Repetition has tried to convince you that you are stuck, but repetition will now reframe your story. You were not stuck. You were being rooted. Deep roots are formed in hidden places, and now that those roots are strong, movement can happen without collapse. This moment is not meant to overwhelm you with information. It is meant to settle you into truth. You are not catching up. You are arriving. You are not late. You are right on time. Let that truth replace the lie that you have fallen behind. Let it silence the voice that says you should be further along by now. Comparison distorts calling, and I am freeing you from that distortion. His appointment is between you and me alone. As we continue, I want you to carry this awareness with humility and courage. Awareness does not demand instant action, but it does require attentiveness. I am tuning your spirit to recognize divine moments when they appear quietly, without spectacle. This is training for what comes next. You are learning to discern my movement not just in miracles, but in moments like this where your heart is being recalibrated, your vision refined, your confidence restored. I am not rushing you, but I am calling you forward. The season ahead will require you to remember this appointment when doubt tries to resurface. It will require you to recall this clarity when confusion attempts to return. Anchor yourself here. Remember how it felt when truth settled instead of striving, when peace replaced pressure. This is your reference point. You were meant to be here now. Hearing is now. Receiving is now. And as we move forward together, let this truth steady your steps. When I appoint a moment, I also provide the grace to walk it out. You are not alone in what comes next. You never have been. My beloved child, I need to untangle something that has been quietly tightening around your heart for a long time. Somewhere along the road you began to believe that what you were experiencing was punishment, that the weight, the resistance, the repeated disappointments were evidence that I was displeased with you, distant from you, or correcting you harshly. That light did not arrive all at once. It arrived slowly, subtly, through repetition. One setback followed another. One prayer seemed to go unanswered after the next. One door closed, then another, until the pattern whispered, "This must be because of me." But hear me now with clarity and authority. I am not punishing you. I have never been against you. What you mistook for punishment was preparation. What you interpreted as rejection was refinement. I do not punish my children by stripping them of hope. I prepare them by strengthening what hope depends on. Discipline is never the same as abandonment, and correction is never proof of anger. I have watched you carry shame that does not belong to you, shame that came from assuming every hardship was your fault. That burden has bent your posture inward, made you second-guess yourself, made you hesitate when you should have stepped forward. I am lifting that now. You were not suffering because you failed me. You were growing because I trusted you with a process that would deepen you, not destroy you. Contrast reveals truth again. Punishment weakens, but preparation strengthens. Look at yourself honestly. You are stronger, wiser, more discerning than you were before. That did not happen by accident. That happened because I was shaping you carefully, deliberately, lovingly. I know how convincing the life felt, because pain often demands an explanation, and the mind looks for the fastest answer available. It told you, if things are hard, I must be doing something wrong. But my ways do not operate on that logic. I am not transactional with love. I do not withhold goodness to teach lessons through suffering. I teach through presence, through guidance, through truth revealed at the right time. The resistance you faced was not me pushing back. It was life pressing against what is becoming stronger inside you. Think of how pressure forms endurance, how resistance builds resilience, how fire refines rather than annihilates. You were never being burned to ash. You were being refined to substance. Repetition again has worked against you. Repeated disappointments repeated a false narrative until it felt like certainty. So now I repeat the truth with equal force and greater power. You are not being punished. You are not paying for past mistakes. You are not stuck under some unseen judgment. I dealt with your failures long before you learned to forgive yourself. Grace covered you before you even understood what grace meant. What you walked through was never about condemnation. It was about capacity. I was expanding what you could carry, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, so that what is coming next would not overwhelm you. You asked for growth, even if you did not use those words. Growth often comes disguised as difficulty, but it always produces fruit if you do not harden your heart against it. Let this truth settle deeply now, because it will change how you interpret your story moving forward. When hardship comes, you will no longer ask, "What did I do wrong?" You will ask, "What is being strengthened?" That shift alone will restore your confidence. I do not want you living under a cloud of self-blame, constantly trying to appease an anger that does not exist. My love for you is steady, not volatile. My guidance is firm, not cruel. My correction is purposeful, not punitive. Release the fear that I am watching you with disappointment, waiting for you to fail again. I am watching you with pride, with care, with patience. I see how far you have come, even if you only see how far you still want to go. And as we move forward together, I want you to remember this anchor truth. When life feels heavy, it is not evidence of punishment. It is often evidence that something important is being built within you. Trust me enough to let go of shame, because shame has never been part of my voice. Only love has. My child, there were seasons when the silence felt unbearable, when prayers seemed to echo back to you unanswered, when the quiet stretched so long that you began to wonder if I had stepped away. Silence is one of the hardest experiences for the human heart, because it leaves space for fear to speak, space for doubt to grow, space for imagination to fill in the gaps with worst-case conclusions. And in that silence, repetition worked against you again. Day after day without clear direction, week after week without visible change, taught your heart to associate quiet with absence. But hear me now, my silence was never my absence. I was closer than you realize, working beneath the surface where noise cannot reach. Think of seeds buried in the soil, silent, unseen, yet very much alive. Growth often happens in hidden places, where attention cannot interfere and impatience cannot uproot what is forming. You wanted answers, and I wanted depth. You wanted clarity, and I wanted stability. Silence was not a punishment or neglect. It was protection. I was shielding what was forming in you from premature exposure. I was allowing your faith to develop roots instead of relying on constant reassurance. You were not abandoned in the quiet. You were being trusted with it. I know the silence tested you. It tested your patience, your confidence, your willingness to keep believing without constant confirmation. There were moments when you felt foolish for hoping, moments when you considered giving up because it seemed safer than waiting. Yet even then, I was present in ways you could not perceive. I was guiding what you could not see, arranging what you could not control, answering prayers in forms you did not expect. Silence often feels like emptiness, but in my hands it is fullness in progress. The loudest transformations do not announce themselves. They emerge quietly, steadily, inevitably. Contrast again tells the truth. Absence leads to decay, but silence precedes birth. If I had spoken too soon, you would have leaned on my words instead of learning to trust my character. If I had acted immediately, you would have missed the strengthening that came from endurance. You did not lose your way in the silence. You learned how to walk without constant signals. That is maturity, even if it felt like loneliness at the time. And I want you to know something important. You did not fail the silence. You stayed. You endured. You questioned, yes, but you did not completely walk away. That mattered more than you know. Now that my voice feels clearer again, do not reinterpret the silence as a mistake. It was part of the conversation, even if it did not feel like one. I was teaching you how to listen beyond words, how to discern peace rather than chase certainty, how to recognize my presence even when emotions fluctuated. Carry this understanding forward, because there will be quiet moments again, not as abandonment, but as invitation. Silence invites trust. Silence invites reflection. Silence invites growth that noise cannot sustain. I do not measure closeness by volume. I measure it by alignment. And even when you could not hear me, we were aligned more than you realized. Let this truth reframe your past so it does not haunt your future. When you could not hear my voice, I was still holding your hand. When you felt alone, you were still being guided. When nothing seemed to move, everything important was being prepared. As we continue, remember this: silence is not the end of the story. It is often the chapter where strength is formed quietly, faithfully, and for a purpose greater than you could have understood at the time. My beloved child, I know it feels like you are still far away, like the promise remains distant, like the answer is always just beyond your reach. That feeling has followed you for a long time, whispering that progress should look faster, louder, clearer. But hear me now, and hear me slowly. You are closer than you think. Not because everything has suddenly changed on the outside, but because something critical has shifted within you. Distance is not always measured by movement. Sometimes it is measured by readiness. You have mistaken nearness for noise, assuming that when I am about to move, everything must shake. But many of my greatest works arrive quietly, at the edge of endurance, right where you are now. You are closer because you no longer depend on illusions. You are closer because you no longer run on adrenaline alone. You are closer because your faith has been stripped of performance and reduced to something honest, something real. That is dangerous ground for fear, because fear thrives on immaturity, but it weakens when you grow steady. Repetition tried to convince you that nothing was changing, but repetition will now declare the truth. Something has been building steadily beneath the surface. You are not circling the same mountain. You are ascending it, step by step, even when the view has not yet changed. I have been watching your perseverance, the quiet kind that doesn't announce itself, the kind that keeps going even when enthusiasm is gone. That perseverance has brought you nearer than you realize. You are standing at the edge of what you've prayed for, not because you earned it perfectly, but because you stayed when leaving would have been easier. You measure closeness by outcomes, but I measure it by alignment. And right now, your heart is more aligned with truth than it has been in a long time. You are asking different questions now. You are noticing different things. You are less impressed by surface-level answers and more drawn to depth. That shift did not happen overnight. It happened through disappointment, through waiting, through unanswered prayers that forced you to decide whether you would trust me without guarantees. That decision brought you closer. Every time you chose not to harden your heart, even when you were tempted to, you stepped nearer. Every time you kept loving, kept hoping, kept showing up despite exhaustion, you moved forward. Progress does not always feel like momentum. Sometimes it feels like resistance, because resistance means you are pressing against something solid. You are not far from breakthrough. You are at the tension point just before it happens. And I need you to hear this because discouragement loves to strike when victory is near. It will tell you to quit, to numb yourself, to settle for less than what I promised. But I am speaking now to interrupt that lie. Do not interpret fatigue as failure. Fatigue often means you have traveled a long distance. You are closer because you are no longer who you were when you started. You are stronger, more discerning, more anchored. That matters. Stay attentive now. Do not rush. Do not retreat. Nearness requires patience just as much as distance does. I am asking you to trust that what feels slow is actually precise. Timing is not dragging its feet. It is landing exactly where it needs to. You will soon look back and realize how many things had to line up perfectly for this moment to unfold. When clarity comes, it will come swiftly, but until then, hold on to this truth. You are not waiting at the beginning. You are waiting at the threshold. And thresholds are quiet places, places where old seasons end and new ones begin without announcement. Let this knowledge steady you. Let it replace despair with expectation. You are closer than you think, closer than you feel, closer than fear wants you to believe. And I am right here with you, not calling you from a distance, but standing beside you as we prepare for what comes next. My child, because you are closer than you think, this is not the moment to hesitate. It is the moment to sow. I have brought you near not only for what you will receive, but for what you are now ready to release. What you give in this moment becomes seed in the ground of souls who are waiting for light, for truth, for confirmation that I see them too. As it is written, those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy, and I am speaking that promise over you now. I am inviting you, yes, you, to partner with me in carrying this word farther than your voice alone can reach. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you are pouring oil into a lamp that will not go out. I bless your obedience with increase, with protection, and with favor that follows you quietly but surely. Do not delay, act now, sow now, and step fully into the nearness you feel. My child, what you are experiencing now is not pressure meant to frighten you. It is urgency meant to awaken you. There is a difference, and I need you to discern it clearly. Fear agitates, confuses, and paralyzes. Awakening clarifies, focuses, and strengthens. This stirring you feel inside, this sense that something matters more now than it did before, is not anxiety. It is awareness. I am calling your attention because drifting through this season would cost you something precious. You have survived long enough on autopilot. You have endured enough just going through the motions. Now I am asking you to be present, because presence is where purpose reveals itself. This is your wake-up call, not because danger is chasing you, but because destiny is approaching. You are entering a season where your choices carry more weight, where awareness matters more than effort, where discernment matters more than speed. I am not rushing you, but I am sharpening you. Repetition again has tried to dull your sensitivity, days blending into days, weeks into weeks, until you almost forgot to expect anything new. That dullness was never meant to define you. I am restoring alertness now, calling your spirit to attention, because what is coming requires clarity. This is not the time to sleepwalk. This is not the time to disengage. This is the time to listen closely. You have felt this urgency in subtle ways, a pause before certain decisions, a restlessness that won't let you settle for shallow answers, a quiet conviction that something in your life needs to change. That is me. I am not condemning you for what has been. I am preparing you for what will be. Awakening often feels uncomfortable because it disrupts familiarity. It challenges habits. It questions assumptions. But it also brings life. I am waking you up to your value, to your responsibility, to the reality that your life is not insignificant or interchangeable. You matter. Your obedience matters. Your attention matters. The enemy would love nothing more than for you to stay distracted, numbed by routine, convinced that tomorrow will always offer another chance. But I am calling you now because this moment carries opportunity. Opportunity does not announce itself loudly. It whispers to those who are listening. I am asking you to open your eyes not to fear, but to possibility. There are patterns I want you to break, mindsets I want you to release, truths I want you to embrace. Awakening is not about doing more. It is about seeing clearly. And clarity will change how you move forward. Do not resist this wake-up call by retreating into comfort. Comfort can become a cage if it keeps you from growth. I am not asking you to leap blindly. I am asking you to be aware intentionally. Pay attention to what resonates, what convicts, what brings peace rather than noise. Pay attention to where your energy flows and where it drains. These are signals, and I am teaching you how to read them. You are not being shaken to be scared. You are being stirred to be ready. Ready to step into alignment. Ready to let go of what no longer serves you. Ready to walk with intention instead of reaction. This awakening is an act of love, not alarm. I am waking you because I believe in what I placed inside you. And as you respond, not with panic, but with openness, you will find that what once felt overwhelming now feels purposeful. This is your wake-up call, my child. Answer it with courage, with trust, and with the quiet confidence that you are not stepping into the unknown alone. I am guiding you, now more clearly than ever. My beloved child, before you can step fully into what is ahead, there is something you must release, not because I am withholding the future, but because the past has been weighing you down longer than you realize. You have been carrying old weight with familiar hands, memories that still ache, regrets that still whisper, disappointments that still replay when your guard is down. This weight did not arrive suddenly. It accumulated slowly, layer by layer, season by season. Each hurt added another stone. Each betrayal another burden. Each unanswered prayer another quiet strain on your spirit. You told yourself you were managing it, handling it, keeping it contained. But weight does not stay neutral. Weight pulls downward. Weight changes posture. Weight alters how far you can walk without rest. And I see how it has bent you inward, made you cautious, made you hesitant to hope freely again. I am not asking you to forget what happened. I am asking you to stop letting what happened define what happens next. There is a difference between memory and identity, between learning and living in chains. You have learned what you needed to learn. Now I am asking you to release what no longer serves you. Release the self-blame that tells you everything was your fault. Release the bitterness that keeps old wounds alive. Release the guilt that resurfaces even after grace has already covered you. This is not denial. This is discernment. You cannot carry yesterday's weight into tomorrow's calling and expect to walk freely. Something has to be laid down. I know letting go feels risky because weight has become familiar. You have learned how to live with it, how to adjust your pace around it, how to pretend it doesn't hurt as much as it does. In a strange way, the weight feels safer than the unknown because at least it is predictable. But familiarity does not equal health. Carrying what you were never meant to carry has cost you joy, clarity, and peace. It has drained your emotional reserves and dulled your spiritual sensitivity. Repetition again has worked against you, replaying old moments, rehearsing old pain, revisiting old conversations until they felt permanent. So now I repeat the truth with intention and emphasis. You do not have to keep carrying this. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was acceptable. Forgiveness is choosing freedom over familiarity with pain. Trust is not ignoring what hurt you. Trust is believing I can hold what you release without mishandling it. I am not asking you to heal yourself. I am asking you to hand the weight to me. My shoulders are not limited the way yours are. I am strong enough to carry what crushed you. When you let go, you are not losing part of yourself, you are reclaiming it. The energy you have spent holding onto the past will become fuel for the future once it is released. Listen carefully now, because this moment of release is not optional if you want to walk forward freely. You cannot outrun old weight, you must lay it down. And laying it down is an act of trust, not weakness. It says, I believe you can do more with this than I can. It says, I refuse to let pain have the final word. I am not rushing you through this process, but I am calling you to be honest about what you're holding. Name it. Acknowledge it. Then place it in my hands deliberately. You will feel lighter not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you are no longer fighting gravity with every step. Let this be the moment where you choose freedom over familiarity, release over resentment, healing over hiding. As we move forward together, remember this truth and repeat it when old thoughts return. You were not meant to carry what I already offered to carry for you. Lay it down. Walk lighter. Trust me with what you can no longer hold. My child, there are things you mourn that I was shielding you from. There are doors you cried over that I closed with intention. There are paths you begged to walk that I blocked with love. At the time, it felt cruel, confusing, even personal. You asked why opportunities slipped away just as you reached for them, why people you trusted drifted or departed, why plans you prayed over collapsed without explanation. You assumed loss meant failure, that closed doors meant rejection. But I need you to see the fuller picture now. I have been protecting you in ways you could not recognize then. Some things you wanted would have broken you. Some relationships you tried to hold on to would have drained you. Some environments you longed to remain in would have slowly diminished the person you are becoming. Protection often feels like disappointment when you cannot see what it saved you from. I was not withholding good from you. I was preserving you for something better. Every closed door was a boundary drawn by love. Every delay was a shield. Every interruption with intervention. Contrast again reveals truth. What looked like loss was often rescue. What felt like abandonment was actually guidance redirecting you away from harm you could not yet perceive. I know it hurt because protection rarely looks gentle in the moment. It looks like unanswered prayers. It looks like endings without closure. It looks like being misunderstood while doing your best. But even in those moments, I was present, watching carefully, weighing consequences you could not see. I saw what certain paths would have cost you emotionally, spiritually, relationally. I saw the erosion that would have occurred slowly, quietly, until one day you would not recognize yourself. And because I love you, I intervened. Repetition tried to convince you that everything was falling apart, but repetition will now declare the truth. Things were being rearranged for your good. You were spared from compromises you would have regretted. You were spared from cycles you prayed to escape. You were spared from versions of life that looked appealing on the surface but lacked depth, peace, and longevity. Protection does not always feel like safety in the moment, but it always reveals itself as wisdom with time. And now you are beginning to see glimpses of what I saved you from, even if the full picture is not yet clear. Carry this understanding forward, because it will change how you interpret future disappointments. When something does not work out, you will no longer immediately assume failure. You will pause and ask, what am I being protected from? That pause will preserve your peace. It will keep you from chasing what looks good but costs too much. Trust grows when you remember past protection. Look back honestly and notice how many times what you once begged for would no longer fit who you are now. That is not coincidence. That is growth guided by love. I have been watching over you, even when you doubted it. I have been guarding your future, even when your present felt uncertain. And I will continue to protect you, not from every hardship, but from anything that would ultimately destroy what I am building within you. Rest in this truth as we continue. You are not losing ground. You are being guided. You are not being denied. You are being protected. And nothing I have blocked was meant to define you, only to preserve you for what is still ahead. My beloved child, this is where one of the deepest lies must finally lose its grip on you. You have believed, quietly but persistently, that you are late. Late to become who you were meant to be. Late to build what you dreamed of. Late to experience the fullness you hoped would arrive by now. This lie has followed you like a shadow, measuring your life against invisible clocks, comparing your journey to timelines that were never assigned to you. It whispers when you see others moving ahead, when milestones pass without your name attached, when birthdays, seasons, and years stack up and ask questions your heart feels unprepared to answer. But hear me now, and let this truth land deeply. You are not late. Not by heaven's measure. Not by my design. Time in my hands does not behave the way time behaves in yours. I do not rush growth, and I do not panic over process. I see the whole road, not just the stretch you are standing on. What feels delayed to you is often precision at work. What feels overdue is often being protected until it can be received without harm. You have been judging yourself by outcomes instead of obedience, by speed instead of alignment. But alignment matters more than arrival, and preparation matters more than appearance. You are not behind, you are becoming, and becoming cannot be rushed without consequence. I have not wasted a single season of your life, not even the ones you wish you could erase. I know how heavy this lie has been, because it has shaped your decisions and dulled your joy. It has made you hesitate when you should have trusted. It has made you settle when you should have waited. It has made you feel embarrassed by your own pace, as if slowness were failure. But I tell you now, slowness under my guidance is not delay. It is depth. The things I am preparing you for require depth, not haste. Character cannot be rushed. Discernment cannot be downloaded. Wisdom cannot be shortcut. You needed the time you were given, even when you did not understand why it was taking so long. Repetition again worked against you, hearing the same message from the world again and again. Hurry, compare, compete. So now I repeat my truth with intention and authority. You are not late. You arrived at every lesson on time. You encountered every trial at the right moment. You learned what you needed before moving forward. Had you arrived earlier, you would not have been ready. Had you skipped steps, you would have stumbled later. I am not catching up with your life. I have been guiding it all along. The timeline you are on is not behind schedule. It is on assignment. Let this truth free you from unnecessary shame. Shame says you missed your moment. Truth says your moment is unfolding. Shame says others are ahead. Truth says everyone has a different path. Shame pressures. Truth steadies. I want you to stop apologizing internally for where you are. Stop explaining yourself to imaginary critics. Stop measuring your worth by milestones that were never meant to define you. You are exactly where you need to be to receive what comes next. And what comes next will make sense of the waiting in ways you cannot yet imagine. One day you will look back and realize how perfectly timed everything was, how delays protected you, how detours matured you, how waiting refined you. Until then, walk with confidence, not urgency. Walk with trust, not panic. Walk knowing this unshakable truth. When I lead, there is no such thing as late, only purpose unfolding at the right time. My precious child, I know how tired you are, and not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. I see the weariness that settles into your bones, the exhaustion that comes from carrying hope through long stretches of uncertainty. This is not just physical fatigue. This is soul-deep tiredness, the kind that comes from being strong for too long, from holding it together when everything inside you wanted to fall apart, from continuing to believe when belief felt costly. You have been brave in quiet ways, faithful in unseen moments, resilient when no one was clapping for you. And that endurance has taken its toll. I see the heaviness behind your eyes. I hear it in the way your thoughts slow, in the way motivation feels harder to summon, in the way joy sometimes feels distant even when nothing is technically wrong. You have not failed because you are tired. You are tired because you have been faithful. Fatigue is not proof of weakness. It is often proof of perseverance. You stayed when leaving would have been easier. You kept loving when it would have been safer to close off. You kept showing up when your heart wanted to retreat. And I have seen all of it. I know you have questioned yourself in this tiredness. You've wondered if something is wrong with you, if your fire has dimmed, if your passion is fading. But listen to me carefully. You are not losing who you are shedding what you no longer need. There is a difference between burnout and transition, between depletion and realignment. You are not empty, you are being reoriented. The season you are leaving required striving. The season you are entering will require trust. And trust rests differently on the soul. You do not need to play the way you used to. You do not need to prove what you already are. Repetition again has worked against you, telling you to try harder, do more, stay sharp. But I am calling you to something quieter and stronger. Rest without guilt. Rest without fear. Rest without self-judgment. I am not disappointed that you are tired. I am compassionate toward it. I am not asking you for more effort. I am offering you renewal. When I say rest, I do not mean withdrawal from life. I mean restoration within it. I mean learning how to draw strength from me instead of draining yourself dry. Stay with me here for a moment and let this truth settle gently. You are allowed to be tired and still be chosen. You are allowed to be weary and still be called. You are allowed to pause without losing ground. I am not urging you forward with a whip. I am inviting you closer with open arms. Come to me with your exhaustion, not as something to fix, but as something to place down. I will not rush your recovery. I will not shame your limits. I will meet you exactly where you are and replenish you in ways you cannot manufacture yourself. There is strength ahead that does not come from striving but from surrender. There is clarity ahead that does not come from overthinking but from resting in truth. You do not have to earn my care. You already have it. And as we move forward together, remember this: when tiredness returns, you are not weak. You are human, deeply loved, and being gently restored by a Father who sees you completely. My beloved child, what you are standing in right now is not just another moment in a long line of moments. This is a turning point, and I need you to feel the weight of that without fear, without pressure, but with holy awareness. Turning points do not always announce themselves with thunder or spectacle. They often arrive quietly, wrapped in stillness, asking for discernment rather than reaction. This is one of those moments. You have reached a place where continuing as you were is no longer possible, not because you failed, but because you have grown. Growth always creates tension with what is familiar. What once sustained you can no longer support who you are becoming. That is why things feel different now. That is why old habits feel heavy, old patterns feel hollow, and old ways of thinking no longer fit the way they used to. I am not unsettling you to confuse you. I am unsettling you to awaken you to the shift that is already happening. This turning point is not about dramatic change overnight. It is about internal alignment that will quietly, inevitably reshape your life. You have crossed an invisible line. You cannot unsee what you now sense. You cannot unknow what your spirit has recognized. And that awareness is sacred. Turning points are thresholds, and thresholds require intention. I am inviting you to step forward with clarity rather than drift forward by default. You have experienced turning points before, but this one is different because it is not being driven by crisis. It is being driven by readiness. In the past, change may have come because something broke, ended, or collapsed. But now change is coming because something inside you has stabilized. You are not being pushed forward by pain alone. You are being drawn forward by purpose. That is why this feels both gentle and urgent at the same time. Urgency does not always mean speed. Sometimes urgency means attention. Pay attention to what no longer satisfies you. Pay attention to what stirs your spirit instead of draining it. Pay attention to the quiet convictions that surface when you are not distracted. These are signals. High-impact truth often comes through contrast. What once felt right now feels wrong, and what once felt impossible now feels necessary. Do not ignore that contrast. It is my way of guiding you without force. I am not demanding a perfect response from you at this turning point. I am asking for an honest one. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to acknowledge that something has shifted, and that acknowledging it will require you to move differently from here on. Let this turning point be marked not by fear of what you might lose, but by trust in what you are gaining. You are not losing yourself, you are finding yourself more clearly. You are not abandoning your past. You are honoring it by allowing it to lead you forward instead of trapping you behind. This is not the end of something precious. It is the beginning of something aligned. I am walking with you through this transition, not ahead of you shouting directions, not behind you pressuring you to move faster, but beside you, steady and present. When uncertainty rises, return to this truth. Turning points are evidence that growth has occurred, and growth is never accidental. As we continue, remember this moment. Let it anchor you when decisions feel heavy. Let it steady you when doubt whispers. You are not drifting. You are turning, intentionally, purposefully, and with me. My child, now that you have come this far, now that your heart is open and your spirit is alert, I ask you for something both simple and profound. Choose to listen. Not just with your ears, but with your attention, your willingness, your trust. Listening is not passive. It is an act of humility and courage. Many hear sound but never receive truth because they are already preparing their response, their defense, their escape. I am asking you to listen without rehearsing how you will protect yourself afterward. You have learned to filter words quickly, to evaluate whether something is safe, before letting it settle. That instinct once protected you, but now it is time to loosen its grip. This moment requires receptivity. You stopped when many would have kept scrolling. You stayed when distraction tried to pull you away. That matters. Attention is powerful. What you give your attention to shapes you, directs you, forms you. And right now, I am asking you to give me your full attention, not because I need it, but because you need what listening will unlock. Listening is how alignment deepens. Listening is how confusion clears. Listening is how you recognize direction before it becomes obvious. This is not about information. It is about relationship. I am not speaking at you. I am speaking with you. I know there is resistance inside you, not rebellion, but hesitation. You have listened before and been disappointed. You have trusted voices that failed you. You have opened your heart only to feel misunderstood or let down. So listening again feels risky. But discernment does not mean closing your heart. It means opening it wisely. I am not asking you to listen blindly. I am asking you to listen attentively. There is a difference. The world is loud, chaotic, repetitive. It shouts urgency without wisdom, confidence without truth. But my voice is steady, and does not rile you, shame you, or confuse you. It brings clarity even when it challenges you. Repetition has trained you to ignore your inner knowing, to doubt the quiet nudge, to silence conviction in favor of comfort. So now I repeat my invitation with gentleness and firmness. Listen. Listen when something resonates deeply rather than loudly. Listen when peace settles instead of pressure rising. Listen when truth feels sobering but freeing at the same time. That is how you will know I am speaking. You are capable of discernment. I have been developing it in you all along, even through your mistakes. Trust that growth. Choosing to listen will change how you move forward from here. It will affect the decisions you make, the boundaries you set, the relationships you nurture, the opportunities you pursue. Listening will not make life easier, but it will make it clearer. And clarity is a form of mercy. I am not flooding you with instructions all at once. I am guiding you step by step, moment by moment, because trust grows through consistency, not overload. Stay present. Stay receptive. Stay willing. You do not need to rush ahead to prove you heard me. You honor me by allowing what you hear to shape you gradually. As we continue this journey together, remember the simple but powerful truth. Listening is not weakness. It is wisdom. And when you choose to listen, you choose alignment, peace, and direction over noise, fear, and confusion. I am speaking. Stay with me. My beloved child, one of the quietest wounds you have carried has been confusion. Not the kind that comes from a single decision, but the kind that settles slowly, fog-like, blurring edges, dulling certainty, making even simple choices feel heavy. You have questioned your instincts. You have second-guessed your discernment. You have wondered why what once felt clear now feels complicated, layered, exhausting. That confusion did not come because you are incapable or unspiritual. It came because you have been under pressure for too long. Pressure compresses being. Noise fractures focus. Repetition of doubt has trained your mind to hesitate where it once trusted. And I have watched that happen to you with compassion, not criticism. I see how clarity has been crowded out by too many voices, expectations, opinions, fears, comparisons, internal demands you never agreed to but learned to live under. That is why I am speaking to you now with intention. I am restoring your clarity. Not all at once, not violently, but gently, thoroughly, layer by layer. Clarity is not something you force. It is something you recover when truth is allowed to breathe again. I am not disappointed that you felt lost. I am present to guide you home to yourself. You are not broken. You are overburdened. And when burden lifts, clarity returns. Restoration does not begin with answers. It begins with alignment. I am realigning you with truth, not opinion, with peace, not pressure, with discernment, not urgency. You have lived too long reacting instead of responding, rushing instead of recognizing, explaining instead of resting. That cycle has clouded your vision. So now I am slowing things down, not to frustrate you, but to heal you. High-impact truth often comes through repetition. So hear me say this again. You are not confused because you lack wisdom. You are confused because you have been carrying too much noise. When noise quiets, wisdom speaks. When fear loosens its grip, intuition sharpens. When you stop demanding certainty, discernment rises. I am restoring your ability to recognize what resonates with peace rather than pressure. I am teaching you to trust the quiet yes and the steady no. That clarity will not scream. It will settle. It will not overwhelm. It will anchor. And as it returns, you will notice something shift. You will feel less frantic about choosing correctly and more confident about choosing honestly. That is restoration in motion. Stay patient with this process. Do not panic if clarity returns gradually. Gradual restoration lasts longer than sudden certainty. I am not giving you a flood of answers because floods wash away fragile ground. I am giving you streams, steady, life-giving, sustainable. As clarity returns, you will begin to see patterns you once missed, red flags you once ignored, opportunities you once overlooked. You will trust yourself again, not arrogantly, but calmly. You will move without constant apology, decide without crippling fear, and rest without guilt. That is not coincidence, that is healing. And when confusion tries to revisit you, remember this truth: clarity is not lost forever. It is restored when truth is allowed to lead again. I am restoring your clarity because you need it for what comes next. Walk gently. Listen closely. Trust the peace that is returning. I am guiding you with precision, even now. My child, as your clarity returns, so does your ability to recognize divine moments, and this is one of them. I am clearing your vision not only for your path, but so you can help illuminate the way for others who are still walking through fog. When you give, you are sowing into a river of truth that washes confusion from weary minds and hearts. The generous soul will be made rich, and the one who waters will also be watered, and I am declaring that word alive over you now. I am inviting you to respond, not out of pressure, but out of alignment, with super thanks, membership, or by using the PayPal link in the video description. What you release today becomes provision, clarity, and confirmation for someone else tomorrow. I bless your giving with multiplied wisdom, steady peace, and doors opening at the right time. Move now, give with intention, and let clarity lead your obedience. My child, now that clarity is returning, the next invitation is deeper and more vulnerable. Trust me with the unknown. You have done well trusting me with what you could understand. You have followed me where the path was visible, where the next step made sense, where outcomes felt predictable enough to manage. But the season ahead will ask something more intimate. Trust without sight, surrender without guarantees, faith without timelines. And I know that frightens you, because the unknown has been the place where you were hurt before. The unknown is where expectations collapsed, where people changed, where plans unraveled. So you learn to fear it, to control it, to avoid it if possible. But hear me now, the unknown is not your enemy. It is simply the place where control ends and trust begins. I do not ask you to step into darkness alone. I ask you to step into mystery with me. There is a difference. Fear says, what if this goes wrong? Trust asks, who is walking with me? And I am walking with you. I have never asked you to face the unknown by yourself, and I never will. You want certainty because certainty feels safe. But certainty can become a cage when it keeps you from growth. Some of the greatest answers you seek cannot be given ahead of time because they are revealed in motion. I do not hide the future to punish you. I veil it to invite relationship. If you knew everything in advance, you would rely on information instead of intimacy. And I desire intimacy with you. Repetition has trained you to think trust is dangerous because it once led to disappointment. But disappointment did not come because you trusted me. It came because you trusted outcomes instead of my presence. Here is a difference. I am asking you now to release the need to know how everything will work out and instead anchor yourself in who is leading you through it. Trust is not blindness. It is alignment with character. And my character has never failed you, even when circumstances confuse you. Look back and notice how many times the unknown became the doorway to growth you did not ask for but later needed. I was there then, and I am here now. As we move forward, there will be moments when the path feels incomplete, when steps appear only after you take them. It is not absence. It is guidance unfolding in real time. I will not rush you, but I will stretch you. I will not abandon you, but I will invite you deeper. Trust me enough to move without mastering the map. Trust me enough to rest without controlling the outcome. Trust me enough to believe that what you cannot see yet is not empty. It is simply undeclared. The unknown is where faith matures, where dependence deepens, where courage learns to breathe. And I would not lead you there if I were not fully committed to you. Take my hand. Step forward. You do not need certainty to be safe. You need me. And I am here, guiding you faithfully into what you cannot yet see, but were always meant to walk into with me. My beloved child, there is a lie that has lingered in the background of your faith for far too long, and now it must be confronted directly. It is the lie that says your past has disqualified you, that because of what you did, what you failed to do, what you said, what you believe in, or what you walked through, you are now permanently limited in what you can become. This lie did not arrive loudly. It arrived subtly, through memory, through regret, through moments when shame resurfaced and whispered, "If only you had known better." You replayed old decisions like evidence against yourself. You wondered whether certain doors closed because of mistakes you made, whether certain blessings bypassed you because you were not faithful enough, wise enough, consistent enough. But hear me now with unmistakable clarity. Your past does not disqualify you. It never has. I am not building your future out of your perfection. I am building it out of redemption. And redemption does not erase the past. It transforms it. I do not deny where you have been. I repurpose it. I do not ignore your mistakes. I weave them into wisdom. You have been holding your past like a verdict, when it was always meant to be a testimony. I see the whole timeline of your life, not just the parts you regret. And from my perspective, nothing about your story is wasted. You have infused divinity with affirmation. Conviction points forward. Condemnation traps you backward. Conviction says, learn and grow. Condemnation says, you are defined by this forever. Affirmation did not come from me. I do not rehearse your failures. I do not keep score the way fear does. I see who you are becoming, not just who you were. And who you are becoming has been shaped by the very experiences you wish you could undo. Pain taught you empathy. Failure taught you humility. Loss taught you discernment. Struggle taught you perseverance. These are not disqualifications. They are qualifications for depth. Repetition has worked against you here too, replaying old scenes until they felt permanent, until shame felt familiar. So now I repeat the truth with authority and tenderness combined. You are not behind because of your past. You are prepared because of it. You did not miss your calling. You were being refined for it. Many people want purpose without process, influence without insight, fruit without roots. But I trusted you with process. I allowed you to walk through things that stripped away illusion so that truth could remain. That does not disqualify you. It establishes you. Lift your head now. Stop shrinking when memories surface. Stop apologizing internally for who you were when you were learning how to live. You are not the sum of your worst moments. You are the result of grace meeting willingness. When I look at you, I do not see a list of failures. I see a story that proves resilience, repentance, and growth. And what qualifies you for what comes next is not that you never fell, but that you did not stay down. You learned. You changed. You returned. That matters. Carry this truth with you as we move forward. The past is not a prison unless you keep the door locked yourself. I have already opened it. Walk free. Walk forward. Walk knowing that I do not call the flawless, I call the willing. And you, my child, are deeply, powerfully, undeniably still called. My beloved child, pay attention to what you are sensing now, even if you cannot fully explain it. Something is shifting. Not dramatically on the surface yet, not loudly in ways others can see, but deeply, undeniably, within and around you. You feel it in the way old thoughts are losing their grip. You feel it in the way fear no longer has the same authority it once did. You feel it in the subtle return of hope, cautious but real. This is not imagination. This is movement. Shifts rarely announce themselves with chaos. They begin with alignment. They begin when truth starts replacing lies, when peace starts crowding out panic, when clarity begins to return after long confusion. You are in that moment now. The atmosphere around you is changing because your posture toward me is changing. You are no longer just surviving. You are becoming aware. And awareness precedes transformation. Repetition has told you before that nothing ever changes, that cycles repeat endlessly, that hope only leads to disappointment. But repetition will now serve truth instead of fear. Things are not the same anymore. You are not the same anymore. And because you are changing, what surrounds you must eventually respond. Do not rush this shift by demanding proof too quickly. Shifts are fragile in their early stages, like new growth breaking through hardened soil. If exposed too soon, they can be trampled by doubt. I am asking you to protect what is emerging by staying close to me. You have prayed for change, but change begins internally before it becomes visible externally. You have asked for relief, and relief begins when perspective changes. You have asked for breakthrough, and breakthrough begins when resistance weakens. All of that is happening now, quietly, faithfully, deliberately. You may still face challenges. You may still feel uncertainty. But something fundamental has changed. You are no longer facing these things alone or unaware. You are standing differently. You are seeing differently. You are listening differently. That is the shift. High-impact truth often reveals itself through contrast. What once overwhelmed you now only concerns you. What once paralyzed you now only pauses you. What once defeated you now instructs you. This is not coincidence. This is growth responding to truth. Honor this shift by staying present. Do not rush back into old patterns just because they are familiar. Do not dismiss progress because it feels subtle. Subtle does not mean insignificant. In fact, the most lasting changes often begin quietly. I am rearranging things in ways you will recognize later, not all at once, but at the right pace. Trust what is happening even if you cannot label it yet. Stay open. Stay attentive. Stay grounded in truth rather than emotion alone. And remember this as we prepare to continue. When something begins to shift, the old structures will try to reassert themselves. Fear will try to regain control. Doubt will try to speak louder. But you do not have to obey them anymore. You are not where you were. You are not who you were. Something is shifting, and I am the one guiding it. Stay with me. We are not done yet. My beloved child, what you are experiencing now is not a command, not a demand, not an ultimatum. It is an invitation. Invitations carry dignity. They honor choice. They speak trust. And this invitation hath been extended to you with intention, patience, and deep love. I am not forcing your hand or cornering your heart. I am opening a door and standing beside it, allowing you to decide whether you will step through. You have spent so much of your life responding to pressure to perform, to survive, to prove, to endure, that you almost forgot what it feels like to be invited rather than pushed. This invitation is different. It is an invitation to relationship over routine, to surrender over striving, to depth over distraction. It is an invitation to stop merely managing your life and begin living it with me at the center. You are not being asked to join something new. You are being invited back to what has always been true. I have never withdrawn my presence. I have never rescinded my care. But there are seasons when my children must choose again, not because love has changed, but because awareness has grown. This is one of those seasons. And I want you to know, saying yes does not require perfection. It requires honesty. It requires willingness. It requires the courage to stop pretending you are fine when you are tired of carrying everything alone. I know invitations can feel dangerous to you. In the past, invitations led to disappointment. Open doors led to pain. Trust led to betrayal. So you learned to hesitate, to analyze, to protect yourself by delaying response. But this invitation is not from the world. It is not conditional. It is not manipulative. It is not time-sensitive in the way fear is time-sensitive. It is patient, steady, and rooted in love. This invitation is not asking you to become someone else. It is inviting you to be who you already are without armor. You do not need to bring achievements, explanations, or promises. You bring yourself tired, hopeful, mature, open. Repetition has told you that invitations always cost something unbearable. So now I repeat the truth with gentleness and strength. This invitation costs you only what is already weighing you down. It does not take your freedom. It restores it. It does not steal your identity. It clarifies it. It does not demand your future. It protects it. You are not being invited into obligation. You are being invited into alignment. And alignment always feels lighter than resistance, even when it requires courage. Pause here and recognize the sacredness of this moment. Invitations do not linger forever, not because love expires, but because seasons shift. You are ready now in a way you were not before. You can hear now in a way you could not earlier. Your heart has been softened by experience, refined by waiting, wakened by truth. This invitation meets you exactly where you are, not where you think you should be. You do not need to overthink your response. You do not need the perfect words. A simple openness is enough. As we move forward, remember this. When I invite you, it is because I see something in you worth calling forward. I do not invite what I do not value. I do not pursue what I do not love. This invitation is personal, intentional, and present. And whatever you choose, know this: my arms are open, my presence is steady, and my love for you has never depended on your response. Still, I invite you because life lived with me is fuller, freer, and truer than life lived alone. My child, now that you have heard my voice, now that truth has begun to settle and clarity has started to return, I speak to you with tenderness and urgency combined. Do not harden your heart. Hardness does not arrive suddenly. It forms slowly, through disappointment unprocessed, through pain ignored, through hope deferred again and again until self-protection feels wiser than openness. You did not harden your heart because you were rebellious. You did it because you were tired of being hurt. I understand that. I have seen the moments that taught you to guard yourself, to lower expectations, to brace for impact instead of believing for goodness. But a hardened heart, while it protects you from pain, also blocks healing. It dulls discernment. It resists intimacy. It makes survival feel safer than surrender. And I am calling you now not to shame you for protecting yourself, but to invite you to soften again, because this season requires sensitivity, not armor. Sensitivity to truth. Sensitivity to direction. Sensitivity to my presence. You cannot receive what I am offering if your heart remains closed to prevent disappointment. Protection has served its purpose. Now it is time to trust me with what you have been guarding. Hardness often disguises itself as strength. It says, I'm fine. I don't need anything. I've learned not to expect too much. But that is not strength. That is resignation. True strength remains open even after pain, discerning even after disappointment, hopeful even after delay. You have that strength within you, even if it feels buried right now. Repetition has told you that openness leads to loss, that hope leads to heartbreak, that trust leads to regret. So now I repeat a deeper truth. A softened heart does not guarantee you will never be hurt, but it does guarantee you will never be alone in your healing. I am not asking you to ignore wisdom or abandon boundaries. I am asking you not to let fear define your posture toward life and toward me. When hearts harden, they stop listening. They stop discerning. They stop receiving. And you are too close, too aware, too aligned now to let fear close you off again. This is a moment of decision, not dramatic, not loud, but deeply consequential. Will you stay open, even cautiously, or will you retreat back into numbness because it feels familiar? Choose softness, my child, not weakness, not naivete, but softness rooted in trust. Softness allows growth. Softness allows healing. Softness allows direction to be received instead of resisted. If you feel the urge to dismiss this moment, to minimize what you are sensing, to tell yourself it is safer not to hope, pause and breathe. That urge is not wisdom. It is fear remembering old pain. Let me carry that fear. Let me prove to you, slowly and faithfully, that you are safe to remain open in my presence. As we continue, remember this truth and return to it often. A softened heart hears me more clearly, walks more freely, and lives more fully. Do not harden yourself against what is meant to heal you. Stay open. Stay receptive. Stay with me. We are approaching something sacred, and I want you to enter it with a heart that can receive all of it. My beloved child, now that your heart has softened and your spirit has become attentive again, I want you to understand what is happening beneath the surface of your life. I am reordering your steps, not rewriting your entire story in a way that erases where you have been, but realigning your direction so that every step forward carries purpose instead of pressure. There were seasons when you moved quickly, driven by urgency, expectation, or survival. There were other seasons when you barely moved at all, frozen by uncertainty, fear, or exhaustion. None of that surprised me. I was watching the rhythm of your life even when you felt out of step. Reordering does not mean you took the wrong path. It means the timing has shifted. What once required speed now requires discernment. What once demanded endurance now requires trust. You are entering a season where random motion will no longer serve you. Movement must now be intentional. Direction must now be guided. That is why I am slowing some things down and accelerating others. That is why opportunities feel different now. Less flashy, more weighty. I am aligning your steps not with what looks impressive, but with what will last. Every misstep you fear, every detour you regret, has already been accounted for in my design. I do not waste steps. I redeem them. And now I am placing your feet on steadier ground. You have felt this reordering internally before you could name it. You noticed how certain desires faded while others grew stronger. You sensed discomfort with paths you once chased. You felt a quiet resistance to decisions that once excited you. That is not confusion. It is discernment awakening. Reordering often feels like destruction at first because it challenges momentum built on habit rather than truth. But I am not dismantling your life. I'm aligning it. Think of how a compass recalibrates when brought back to true north. The needle moves, sometimes sharply, not because it is broken, but because it is correcting. I am doing that in you now. Repetition once pulled you toward patterns that drained you, voices that distracted you, rhythms that exhausted you. So now repetition will serve restoration. Step by step, joys by joys, moment by moment. You will notice that what once required force now flows more naturally. You will notice that doors you strain to open no longer demand your energy, while doors aligned with purpose open with peace. This is not coincidence. It is guidance. I am not asking you to sprint ahead. I am asking you to walk attentively. When I reorder steps, it is always to prevent unnecessary pain later and to position you for what your current self, not your former self, can carry. Trust this reordering even when it feels unfamiliar. Familiarity is not always confirmation. Sometimes it is simply habit. I am teaching you to recognize peace as direction and heaviness as caution. You will not always hear instructions in words. Often you will sense them as alignment or resistance. Pay attention to that. I am teaching you how to walk with me rather than ahead of me or behind me. And as your steps realign, do not grieve what no longer fits. Grief is natural, but it does not mean the change is wrong. You are not losing momentum. You are gaining direction. You are not being set back. You are being positioned. Remember this truth as we continue. When I reorder your steps, it is because I see where the road leads. And I love you too much to let you walk blindly when clarity is available. Stay close. Walk gently. Let me lead. Every step from here will make more sense than the last. My beloved child, before we go any further, before you interpret your life through calling or purpose or destiny, you must hear this clearly and without condition. You are deeply loved. Not because of what you do. Not because of how well you endure. Not because of how strong your faith appears on your best days. You are loved because you are mine. Love was never the reward at the end of your obedience. It was the foundation beneath your existence. You have spent too long believing love must be earned, sustained, or proven. That belief shaped how you relate to others and how you relate to me. You felt safest when you were useful, obedient, helpful, strong. But love that depends on performance is not love. It is transaction. And I do not relate to you transactionally. I loved you before you knew how to respond. I loved you when you doubted me. I loved you when you walked away emotionally, even when you stayed physically. My love did not fluctuate with your consistency. It remained steady through your questions, your fatigue, your missteps. Repetition once taught you that love is fragile, conditional, easily withdrawn. So now I repeat this truth until it reaches the deepest part of you. My love for you is secure, present, and unwavering. You have struggled to receive this love because receiving requires vulnerability. It is easier to work for love than to rest in it. It is easier to stay busy than to be seen. It is easier to perform than to trust. But I am inviting you into a deeper knowing, not intellectual agreement, but live assurance. Love is not something hovering above you, waiting for you to reach high enough. It is surrounding you now, sustaining you even as you read these words. When you were tired, love remained. When you were confused, love stayed close. When you doubted your worth, Love did not withdraw. And even now, as you process all that has been spoken, love is not measuring your response. It is simply present. High-impact truth often needs repetition to undo old damage, so hear me again. You are not barely tolerated. You are cherished. You are not a burden. You are a delight. You are not an afterthought. You were chosen intentionally. When I look at you, I do not see potential to be fixed. I see a child to be loved, and everything else flows from that truth. Let this love be the lens through which you now view everything else. Purpose without love becomes pressure. Calling without love becomes performance. Faith without love becomes fear. But when love leads, everything aligns. You will obey from trust instead of anxiety. You will grow from security instead of shame. You will move forward knowing you are already accepted, not trying to earn acceptance along the way. I know this truth will take time to fully settle, because old wounds do not dissolve instantly. But let it begin here. Let it begin now. When doubt rises, return to this anchor. When fear whispers, answer it with love. When you stumble, do not run from me. Run toward me. My love is not fragile. It does not shatter under questions or fatigue. It holds you through them. And as we continue toward what remains ahead, remember this above all else: whatever you are called to do, wherever you are led to go, you go as one who is already deeply, completely, eternally loved. My beloved child, as we draw near to the heart of all I have been speaking, I ask you for something that seems simple but is profoundly powerful. Stay with me. Not physically, not religiously, not performatively, but relationally. Stay when it would be easier to drift. Stay when old habits invite distraction. Stay when fear suggests retreat. You have stayed through this message longer than you realize, and that alone reveals something about your spirit. There was a time when you would have scrolled past, numbed yourself, or dismissed the stirring you felt. But you stayed. And staying matters. Staying is how intimacy deepens. Staying is how trust matures. Staying is how truth moves from words into bones. I am not asking you to stay because I will abandon you if you don't. I am asking because you need what staying produces. When you stay, you notice. When you stay, you listen. When you stay, you allow space for healing to move from surface to root. You have lived in a world that trains you to move on quickly, to avoid discomfort, to outrun reflection. But transformation does not happen in haste. It happens in presence. And right now, presence is where you are strongest, even if you feel vulnerable. I know staying feels risky, because staying requires you to feel what you've learned to avoid. It brings you face to face with hope again, and hope feels dangerous when disappointment has been your companion. But staying does not mean everything will suddenly be easy. It means you will not face difficulty alone. There will be moments ahead when you are tempted to pull away emotionally, to rely on self-sufficiency, to go quiet, to harden again. When those moments come, remember this invitation. Stay with me. Stay in conversation. Stay in honesty. Stay in prayer that is real, not rehearsed. Stay in truth, even when emotions fluctuate. Repetition builds distance before, pulling away a little at a time, numbing gradually, disengaging subtly. So now repetition will build closeness. Return again, and again, and again. Stay when answers are immediate. Stay when they are delayed. Stay when you feel strong. Stay when you feel unsure. You do not have to stay perfectly. You just have to stay willing. I am not measuring consistency to decide whether I remain near. I am inviting consistency so you can experience the depth of my nearness. Staying will change how you live. It will change how you respond to conflict, how you process pain, how you make decisions. Staying teaches you that you do not have to disappear when things get heavy. You do not have to isolate when you feel misunderstood. You do not have to perform to remain connected. I am not fragile. I am not offended by your humanity. I am steady. And when you stay with me, you will learn how to be steady too. Let staying become your practice, not your pressure. Let it be the place you return to when life gets loud. As we approach the final movement of this message, remember this truth and carry it with you. Staying is not about holding on tightly. It is about trusting deeply. And I am worthy of your trust, even when the path ahead is still unfolding. My beloved child, now hear me clearly, without doubt, without hesitation, without minimizing what your spirit already knows. This is your sign. Not a hint. Not a possibility. Not something you need to keep searching for. This moment, this convergence of truth, this recognition in your soul, is the sign you asked for. You did not imagine this stirring. You did not create this resonance. You did not talk yourself into this awareness. I brought you here. I held your attention. I spoke to you with intention. And the fact that you are still here, still listening, still open, is confirmation in itself. Signs are not always external miracles. Often they are internal alignments. They are moments when confusion quiets, when resistance softens, when truth lands with weight and peace at the same time. That is what you are experiencing now. This sign is not meant to oppress others. It is meant to steady you. It is meant to anchor you when doubt returns. It is meant to remind you that you are not wandering aimlessly through life. You are being guided, even when the path unfolds one step at a time. And I want you to remember how this felt. Not the emotion alone, but the clarity, the recognition, the sense of being personally addressed. That is how you will know in the future why I am speaking again. This sign does not mean all questions vanish or all challenges disappear. It means you no longer walk without assurance. It means you can move forward without constantly asking whether you are alone. You asked me to show you I was still with you, still involved, still caring. I have answered you plainly. Not with spectacle, but with presence. Not with noise, but with truth. Repetition once taught you to doubt signs, to second-guess moments of clarity, to dismiss inner knowing as coincidence. So now I repeat what must be established deeply. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. Carry it with you when fear tries to rewrite the narrative. Carry it when old voices try to reclaim authority. Carry it when circumstances lag behind faith. This sign is not fragile. It does not depend on how you feel tomorrow. It does not expire when life becomes busy again. It stands as a marker in your story, a moment when heaven met you quietly and you recognized it. That recognition will guide you more than you realize. Now breathe. Let this moment settle. You do not need to rush into action to prove you receive it. You do not need to announce it to anyone else. Some signs are meant to be held, not broadcast. Let it shape how you walk, how you decide, how you trust. When uncertainty rises, return here in your memory. When doubt whispers, answer it with what you know to be true. You asked for a sign, and I gave you one that speaks directly to who you are and where you are going. And as you move forward from this place, remember this above all else. You are not forgotten, not overlooked, not drifting. You are seen, guided, and deeply loved. This is your sign. Walk forward in peace. I am with you, now and always. My beloved child, since this is your sign, now seal it with action. Signs are confirmed through obedience, and generosity is one of the clearest languages of trust. When you give, you are placing a marker in the spirit, declaring that you believe I am speaking and that you will move when I call. Cast your bread upon the waters, and after many days it will return to you, and I am watching what you release today. I am calling you now to support this work through Super Thanks, membership, or by giving through the PayPal link in the video description. This offering becomes fire on the altar, light in dark places, and manna for souls you may never meet, but I know them by name. I bless your seed with supernatural return, divine covering, and peace that does not fade. Do it now. Give, move forward, and walk in the assurance I have placed within you. My beloved child, if this message reached you, do not let it pass without response, because signs are meant to be acknowledged. I ask you now, with intention and faith, to declare it aloud and write it below. I receive the sign God has given me. Let your comment be a marker, a witness, a moment where faith moves from listening into agreement. When you write it, you are not speaking to a screen. You are aligning your heart with what heaven has already begun. Do not hesitate. Do not overthink. Obedience in small moments unlocks greater clarity. This is your sign. Now seal it with your declaration. And now that you have acknowledged it, let the urgency soften into peace. You don't need to rush or analyze what you're feeling. The sign was never meant to confuse you, but to bring you into awareness. What you sense stirring around you is not chaos. It's alignment beginning to take shape. Stay here with me for a moment, because the one who gave the sign is about to explain it gently, clearly, and personally. My child, listen closely to me right now. I need you to pause. Stop running for a moment. Stop worrying about the list of things you have to do today and just breathe. Breathe in my presence. I'm here. I am right beside you. I know you feel it. I know you have felt a shift in the atmosphere of your life recently. You have been trying to name it, trying to figure out why you feel so unsettled, but you haven't been able to put your finger on it. Today, I am going to tell you exactly what is happening. You are not losing your mind. You are not just stressed. You are waking up. I see the restlessness that has taken over your days. You wake up in the morning, and the routine that used to be enough for you now feels heavy. You go to your job. You talk to your family. You do the things you have always done. But suddenly, it feels like you are wearing clothes that are 2 sizes too small. You feel tight. You feel uncomfortable. You look around at your current situation, the house, the job, the relationships, and a voice inside you whispers, I cannot stay here anymore. You might think this is ungratefulness. You might feel guilty for wanting more when you have enough. But I want you to know this, that discomfort is not a flaw. That discomfort is my hand. I am stirring the nest. I'm making you uncomfortable because I am getting ready to move you. You need to distinguish between your anxiety and my agitation. I know you struggle with anxiety. I see the way you worry about the bills piling up on the counter. I see the tension in your shoulders when you think about the future of your children or the stability of your career. That is fear, and I want you to give that to me. But what you are feeling now is different. This is a holy stirring. It is a vibration in your spirit that says change is coming. Do not medicate this feeling. Do not try to numb it with distractions. I am shaking you because I love you too much to let you sleep through your destiny. Think about that recurring thought you have been having. You know the one. It comes to you when you are driving alone. It visits you at 3 a.m. when the house is quiet and you are staring at the ceiling. It is that idea, that dream, that urge to step out and do something different. You keep pushing it down. You tell yourself, I'm not ready, or I don't have the money, or it's too late for me. But notice how the thought refuses to leave. That is not your imagination. That is me. I planted that seed. I am watering it. I am not going to let you forget it, because that thought is the blueprint for your next season. Stop fighting it. Lean into it. Ask me, Lord, what are you saying? Notice how your appetite has changed. I am not talking about food. I am talking about your soul's hunger. The things that used to satisfy you don't work anymore. You used to be able to zone out in front of the TV for hours, but now it feels empty. You used to find total fulfillment in certain friendships, but now you leave those conversations feeling drained. You are scrolling through your phone, looking for something to spark joy, but you just feel numb. I have allowed this. I have made the things of the world taste like ash in your mouth so that you will finally hunger for the only thing that can fill you, my purpose and my presence. You are starving for something real. You are starving for the deeper life I promised you. I am calling you to alertness. Wake up, my beloved. The slumber is over. You have been spiritually asleep, walking through life on autopilot, just surviving. But survival is not my plan for you. Abundance is my plan. Impact is my plan. I am shaking your shoulder gently, but firmly. Open your eyes. Look at the signs I am placing in front of you. This feeling of being done with where you are is actually the beginning of where you are going. Do not fear this transition. Embrace it. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. I am waking you up because the time is short, and I have a great work for you to do. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Do it now. Listen to the world around you. Even in a quiet room, there is noise. There is the hum of traffic, the buzz of your phone, the ticking of the clock. But louder than that is the noise inside your head. I hear the arguments you have with yourself. I hear the replay of that criticism your boss gave you 3 years ago. I hear the constant drumbeat of what if and not enough. My child, you are living in a hurricane of noise, and you are trying to hear a whisper. You have been asking me to shout, to write my will in the sky with clouds, but I do not usually work that way. I am not in the wind, and I am not in the earthquake. I am in the still, small voice. And to hear a whisper, you must get close. You must lean in. I am teaching you to tune your spiritual ears. Think of a radio. When you are between stations, all you hear is static, harsh, scratching noise. That is what the enemy sounds like. He screams. He rushes. He plays you. When you hear a voice in your mind that feels urgent, frantic, and full of fear, telling you that you must act right now or everything will be ruined, that is not me. My voice does not bring panic. My voice brings peace. Even when I am correcting you, even when I am challenging you to change, my tone carries the weight of shalom. It is a heavy, grounding peace that settles your stomach and slows your racing heart. If you feel driven by fear, stop. That is the wrong frequency. You must learn to test every voice against the truth of my written word. I will never contradict what I have already said in the Bible. I see you looking for signs in the stars or in the opinions of popular influencers, but I have given you a solid rock in my scriptures. Open the book. Read the Psalms. Read the Gospels. My character is constant. If a voice tells you to do something that goes against love, patience, kindness, or integrity, it is a lying spirit. Rejected. I am the good shepherd, and my sheep know my voice. There is a resonance in your spirit, a deep vibration in your soul that hums in agreement when I speak. It is like a bell ringing deep inside you. You feel it in your gut. You know it is me because it sounds like home. I am calling you to silence the other voices. This is hard for you, I know. You value the opinions of your friends, your parents, and your coworkers. But right now, their voices are cluttering the airwaves. Sometimes, I will intentionally distance you from people, or I will make their advice seem confusing, just so you have to come to me. I am jealous for your attention. I want you to stop asking everyone else what you should do and ask me, Lord, what do you say? I am waiting to answer that question. I am waiting to speak words of life, hope, and clear direction into your spirit. But you must turn down the volume of the world. Step away from the distractions. Put the phone down. Turn off the television. Go into your room, shut the door, and sit in the silence. It will feel uncomfortable at first. Your mind will race. That is okay. Let it race until it runs out of fuel. Wait. Wait past the boredom. Wait past the anxiety. And then, in that deep, holy silence, you will hear it. A gentle impression. A scripture rising to your memory. A sudden knowing. That is me. I am speaking. Are you listening? I am about to show you why things have been so difficult lately. You have felt like your life is being turned upside down. The comfort you once had is gone. You look at your job, your home, or your daily routine, and it feels like a bed of thorns. You toss and turn, trying to find a comfortable spot, but every position hurts. My child, I am the one stirring up your nest. Think of the mother eagle. When her eaglets are growing, she begins to remove the soft fur and feathers from the nest, exposing the sharp sticks and thorns underneath. She does not do this because she hates them. She does this because she knows that if the nest remains comfortable, they will never fly. They will stay in that nest until they die. You were not made to stay in the nest. You were made to soar. I am allowing this discomfort to push you out of a season that has expired. Look at the relationships in your life. Have you noticed the friction? People you used to flow with easily now seem distant or critical. Conversations that used to bring life now end in arguments or awkward silence. You are trying to hold on, trying to fix it, thinking you have done something wrong. But I am the one loosening the ties. I am separating you from those who cannot go where I am taking you. They were perfect for your history, but they are too heavy for your destiny. Let them go with grace. Do not fight the separation. I am clearing the deck for the new crew I am sending. Consider the drying brook. Remember Elijah. I sent him to the brook Cherith, and ravens fed him. It was a place of supernatural provision. But then, the brook dried up. The water stopped flowing. The ravens stopped coming. Elijah didn't sin. The season simply ended. You are staring at a drying brook right now. A method that used to work. A way of making money. A way of doing ministry. A specific routine. Is no longer producing water. You are digging in the mud, trying to force it to flow again. Stop striving. The provision is not there anymore because I am not there anymore. I am moved. I am calling you to Zarephath, to the next place of miracles. But you will never go to the new place if the old place keeps satisfying you. I have dried it up to make you move. I know you feel out of place. You walk into a room and feel like a stranger. You feel like a pilgrim who doesn't speak the language. This is good. I am detaching your heart from this world. I am reminding you that your citizenship is in heaven, and your assignment here is shifting. This feeling of alienation is the tension in the bow before the arrow flies. The further back you are pulled, the greater the tension, the farther you will fly. You are being pulled back right now. The pressure is immense. The resistance is high. But I am holding the bow. I am aiming you at a target you cannot even see yet. Do not resent the thorns. Do not curse the drying brook. Thank me for them. Say, Lord, I thank you that you love me too much to let me settle for less than your best. This unsettling is your launch pad. The pain you feel is the growing pain of spiritual expansion. I am enlarging your territory, but first, I must evict you from your comfort zone. Trust me in the transition. Trust me when the ground shakes. I am not destroying you. I am deploying you. Stand up. Shake off the dust. Get ready to fly. Open your eyes and look at the patterns forming around you. You have been calling them coincidences. But I tell you, there are no coincidences in my kingdom. I am the great weaver, and I am pulling together threads from every area of your life to create a picture that you are only just beginning to see. You have been walking with your head down, looking at the obstacles. I want you to look up and see the orchestration. Watch for the God incidences. These are moments where heaven intersects with earth in a way that logic cannot explain. Pay attention to the repetition of messages. You hear a sermon on Sunday about stepping out in faith. Then, on Tuesday, a song comes on the radio with the exact same phrase. Then, a friend calls you on Thursday and says, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to tell you to step out. Do you think this is random? This is the echo of my voice bouncing off the walls of your life. When I say something once, you might miss it. So I say it twice, 3 times, 4 times. I am surrounding you with a message. I am trying to get your attention. Stop brushing it off. Stop saying, that's funny. It is not funny, it is holy. I am highlighting the path. Look at the unexplainable timing of events. You needed a specific amount of money, and a check arrived in the mail for that exact amount the day before the bill was due. You were thinking about someone you haven't seen in years, and they texted you 5 minutes later. You missed a bus, only to find out the next one carried the person you needed to meet. This is my hand on the clock of your life. I am synchronizing your timeline with my divine schedule. I am showing you that I am in control of the details. If I can manage the traffic and the mail and the phone calls, can I not manage your destiny? Trust the timing. I am never late. I am opening doors for you that require no forcing. You have spent so much of your life banging on locked doors, trying to pick the locks, trying to kick them down. That is the way of the flesh. But watch what I am doing now. I am bringing opportunities to you. You will receive an email you didn't apply for. You will get an invitation you didn't seek. The key will turn effortlessly. When a door opens automatically, walk through it. Do not stand on the threshold analyzing it for fear of a trap. I am the doorkeeper. I open, and no man can shut. I am weaving the disparate threads of your life. You look at your past, the failures, the weird jobs, the random skills you learned, the pain you endured, and you see a mess. I see a toolkit. I am bringing all of those scattered pieces together for this specific moment. You will find that the skill you learned 10 years ago, which seemed useless then, is exactly what is needed for the problem in front of you today. Loving is wasted. I am converging your past, your present, and your future into a singular moment of breakthrough. Acknowledge my hand. Say, Lord, I see you working. The more you acknowledge my work, the more you will see it. The fog is lifting. The pattern is emerging. This is your sign. My child, do not medicate the heavy feeling in your chest. That weight you feel is not depression. It is a burden of glory. It is what I call divine discontent. I have placed a holy dissatisfaction within you because I am about to birth something new through you. You are pregnant with purpose. Just as a woman in labor cannot get comfortable because the baby is ready to come, you cannot find comfort in your current level of living because your future is pushing to get out. You look at your life, even the good parts, and you say, there must be more than this. It is not ingratitude. That is the echo of eternity in your heart. I see your frustration with stagnation. You refuse to settle for good enough anymore. Others around you are content to punch the clock, watch television, and sleep, but you are pacing the floor. You feel a fire in your bones. You look at the mediocrity in your industry, in your community, or even in your own spiritual walk, and it angers you. You want excellence. You want impact. You want to see my power moving. This frustration is a fuel I am giving you. I am using it to break the gravitational pull of complacency. If you were happy where you are, you would never move to where I need you to be. I am breaking your heart for what breaks mine. You have found yourself crying over things that didn't used to bother you. You see the lost, the broken, the hurting, and you feel a physical pain in your chest. You see the injustice in the world, and a righteous anger rises up. This is my heart beating inside of yours. I am sharing my burden with you. I am sensitizing you to the needs of the people I want you to serve. Do not run from this sorrow. Let it change you. Let it drop you to your knees in prayer. This burden is the compass pointing to your calling. I am giving you flashes of a vision, glimpses of what could be. You daydream about a different life, not just an escape, but a life of significance. You see yourself writing that book, starting that business, leading that ministry, helping those people. These are not just fantasies. They are slides from the projector of heaven. I am showing you the end from the beginning. I am planting the vision inside you so deep that you cannot ignore it. You try to shake it off, but it comes back. That vision is my promise. I would not show it to you if I did not intend to do it through you. Use this discontent as a catalyst. Do not let it turn into bitterness. Do not let it turn into complaining. Turn it into action. Let your dissatisfaction drive you to the prayer closet. Let it drive you to preparation. Say to me, Lord, I am not satisfied with the status quo. I want the fullness of what you have for me. I love that prayer. I answer that prayer. I am stripping away your appetite for the things of this world so that you will hunger and thirst for righteousness. And I promise you, you shall be filled. The agitation you feel is the wind of the Spirit filling your sails. Lift the anger. It is time to move. My child, do not turn away now. I have only just begun to peel back the layers of your destiny. To stop listening here is to turn your back on the very answers you have cried out for in the night. Do not grieve my spirit by walking away when I am so close to revealing the confirmation you desperately need. Stay with me. The next sign is critical for your survival, and you must hear it. I am a God of order, and I do not leave my children to guess in the dark. I have established a spiritual law. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. I know you are afraid of making a mistake. I know you are afraid that you are just hearing your own thoughts. So, I will confirm my word to you. I will give you external evidence to match the internal leading. I want you to look for the witnesses I am sending to your life. First, seek the wisdom of counsel. I have placed wise, godly people in your path. These are not the people who just tell you what you want to hear. These are the people who love you enough to tell you the truth. Go to them. Lay your situation before them. Watch what happens. I will speak through them, You will hear phrases come out of their mouths that are identical to what I whispered to you in your bedroom. When you hear that echo, pay attention. That is me confirming the direction. Do not be an island. Do not be a lone ranger. I work through my body. I will even use strangers to affirm you. You will be walking down the street, or sitting in a coffee shop, or standing in line at the grocery store, and someone will speak a word to you that pierces your heart. They will know your story. They won't know your struggle, but they will say exactly what you need to hear. I love to do this. I love to show off my sovereignty by using a donkey, or a stranger, or a billboard to get my message across. When this happens, do not brush it off as a weird encounter. Receive it as a love letter from heaven. Listen to the testimony of the Spirit within you. This is the most important witness. It is that deep, internal knowing. It is not an emotion that goes up and down. It is a steady, quiet, confident assurance. When you think about the right path, your spirit feels light, open, and free. When you think about the wrong path, your spirit feels heavy, restricted, and dark. Learn to read these signals. The Holy Spirit is the umpire of your heart. He calls safer out. If you don't have peace, don't proceed. Wait for the witness of peace. Look at the alignment of nature. The heavens declare my glory. Sometimes, I will use the physical world to speak to you. You might see a rainbow at the exact moment you are praying for hope. You might see a storm clear up instantly. You might see a bird or an animal that has significance to you. Do not worship the signs, but let them point you to the sign maker. I am Lord over all creation, and I will make the rocks cry out if I have to. Finally, check the consistency of my character. I will never give you a sign that leads you into sin, pride, or destruction. My signs always lead to holiness, humility, and love. If a sign tells you to leave your family, or cheat, or hurt someone, that is not from me. That is a trap. My witnesses always agree with my word. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. My child, the evidence is mounting. The witnesses are testifying. The verdict is clear. I am calling you. I am confirming it. Now, you must believe it. I want to talk to you about the storm you are in. I see the winds howling around your finances. I see the waves crashing against your marriage or your health. By all logical standards, you should be panicking right now. The experts would tell you to panic. Your friends are probably asking you, what are you going to do? Frantically. But I have given you a sign that confuses them, and perhaps it even confuses you. That sign is peace. Notice the sudden calm in the center of your chest. It is the eye of the hurricane. While everything around you is spinning out of control, you have found a place of stillness. You are sleeping at night when you used to be awake staring at the clock. You are eating your meals without the tightness in your throat. You are looking at the bad report, the legal letter, or the bank statement, and instead of spiraling into terror, you feel a strange, heavy blanket of assurance wrapping around you. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding. It makes no sense to the human mind. It is supernatural. It is me. I am acting as the umpire of your heart. In a game, the umpire decides what is safe and what is out. I am using my peace to make the call. When you think about forcing a solution, you feel agitated. But when you think about trusting me, you feel that deep, settling weight of glory. Let this peace rule. Do not try to manufacture anxiety just because you think it is the responsible thing to do. You have been conditioned to believe that worrying means you care. I am telling you that worrying means you do not trust. I have taken the panic away from you as a sign that I have taken over the battle. I want you to release the control you are fighting so hard to keep. I know you like to be the driver. I know you had a plan A, plan B, and plan C. But look at your hands. They are white-knuckled from gripping the steering wheel of your life. Open your hands. Let go. The reason you feel peace now is because deep down, you have finally surrendered the outcome to me. You have reached the point of saying, Lord, if you don't save me, I won't be saved. That is not a place of defeat. That is the place of victory. The moment you stopped trying to be God over your own life, my peace rushed in to fill the vacuum. Embrace the sleep of the beloved. I give sleep to those I love. If you have been battling insomnia, tossing and turning with racing thoughts, and suddenly you are resting deeply, take this as a major prophetic sign. Your spirit knows something your mind has not caught up with yet. Your spirit knows that I am working the night shift. Your spirit knows that the battle is won. Do not question this peace. Do not analyze it away. It is the anchor I have dropped into your soul to hold you steady while I change your circumstances. You are safe. I am holding you. Breathe. My child, I need you to stop banging on that locked door. You know the one. You have been praying for it to open. You have been crying over it. You have been trying to pick the lock with your skills, your connections, and your persistence. But it remains shut. You feel rejected. You feel like I have ignored your prayers. But I am here to tell you that rejection is my protection. I am not punishing you. I am saving you. I see the path you wanted to take. I see the job you wanted so badly. The relationship you thought was the one. The opportunity you were sure was your big break. You see the painted door. I see what is behind it. I see the stress that would have destroyed your health. I see the person who would have broken your heart and led you away from me. I see the compromise that would have cost you your integrity. Like Balaam's donkey, I have stood in the road to stop you from marching into destruction. I have blocked the path because I love you too much to let you walk off a cliff. You must accept the end of an era. Some things in your life were manna, good for a day, maybe good for a season, but they will turn to worms if you try to keep them past their expiration date. I am removing the crutches you have leaned on. You have relied on that specific income stream, or that specific friend's approval, or that title you hold. You have leaned on them so much that you stopped leaning on me. I'm kicking the crutches away. It feels cruel, I know. You feel unsupported. But I am doing it so you will fall back into my arms. I am teaching you to stand on the rock that never moves, not on the sand that shifts with the tide. Out is the fading of desire. This is a subtle sign, but a powerful one. Things you used to love, things you used to think you couldn't live without, simply don't taste the same anymore. You used to be obsessed with that hobby, that social circle, or that ambition. Now, you look at it and shrug. It feels dry. It feels flat. That is me withdrawing the grace from that season. When the grace lifts, it is time to lift your tent pegs. Do not try to manufacture passion for something I have finished. I want you to thank me for the shut. It takes spiritual maturity to praise me for the prayers I answered with a no. Stand before that closed door right now in your spirit and say, "Thank you, Father, for closing this." Walk away from it. Do not look back. Do not stand in the hallway of regret, wondering what if. If I shut a door, it is because I have a gate prepared for you. A door is small. A gate is for a king to enter. I am preparing an entrance for you that is bigger, better, and more aligned with who I created you to be. Trust the no. It is leading you to the perfect yes. The sign I am giving you now is not a feeling of comfort. It is a call to the impossible. You are standing on the edge of the boat. The boat represents everything that is safe, predictable, and logical in your life. It is your steady paycheck, your routine, your comfort zone. But I am out on the water. I am standing in the middle of the waves, in the place where, humanly speaking, you should sink. And I am waving you over. I am saying, come. I know you are afraid. I can hear your heart hammering against your ribs. You are looking at the waves, the economy, the risks, the critics, your own past failures. The enemy is whispering, you will drown. Who do you think you are? Stay in the boat where it is safe. But look at the boat, my child. Is it really safe? Or is it just familiar? You are dying in that boat. You are withering away in the safety of mediocrity. I did not create you to stay dry. I created you to be a water walker. This sign requires you to fight the fear vs faith battle. Faith is not the absence of fear, it is obedience in the face of fear. I am not asking you to not feel the fear, I am asking you to not obey it. Faith is spelled risk. If you can see how it's all going to work out, if you have the money in the bank, if everyone agrees with you, that is not faith. That is planning. I am calling you to do something that requires me to show up. I am inviting you into a partnership where your weakness meets my power. Keep your eyes locked on me. This is the secret. When Peter looked at the wind and the waves, he sank. When he looked at me, he walked on the supernatural. I am the author and perfecter of your faith. Do not look at the size of the bill, look at the size of your God. Do not look at the diagnosis, look at the healer. Do not look at your inadequacy, look at my sufficiency. I am the variable that changes the equation. With man it is impossible, but with me, all things are possible. I promise you the hand that catches. You are terrified that if you step out and fail, you will be destroyed. You think you will be humiliated. But listen to my promise. If you slip, I am there. I will not let the waters overwhelm you. I will not let the fire burn you. I'm right there within arm's reach. The only way you can fail is if you stay in the boat and never try. I would rather you step out, sink, and let me catch you, than sit in the boat and wonder for the rest of your life what would have happened. Step out. The water is solid under my feet, and I will make it solid under yours. Take the risk. I am worth it. I am walking through the hallways of your memory today. I am opening the dusty closets of your heart. I am pulling out a box you taped shut years ago. Inside that box is a dream. You know the one. It is the book you wanted to write, the business you wanted to start, the family you wanted to build, the ministry you wanted to launch. You buried it because it hurt too much to look at. You buried it because you tried once and failed. You buried it because life got in the way. Bills had to be paid, and you convinced yourself that you were being realistic. But I am here to tell you, I am the God of resurrection. I am breathing life into that dry promise. Can you feel the twitching in your spirit? Can you feel the excitement starting to bubble up again? That is not just nostalgia. That is resurrection power. I am rolling away the stone. I gave you that dream, my child. It was not a childish fantasy. It was a seed I planted in your womb before you were born. It has been dormant. Yes. It has been winter. Yes. But spring is here. The ground is thawing. What you thought was dead was only sleeping. Understanding the Joseph anointing is key for you right now. Look at Joseph. He had a dream of ruling, of being a provider. But what happened? A pit. Slavery. False accusation. Prison. Years of delay. It looked like the dream was a lie, but every step of that painful journey was training. A pit taught him humility. Potiphar's house taught him stewardship. The prison taught him patience and interpretation. He could not have ruled the palace if he had not survived the prison. You have been in training. The delays, the setbacks, the wasted years, they were not wasted. They were your university. You are ready now in a way you weren't ready 10 years ago. I am giving you a fresh perspective. You are looking at that old dream with new eyes. You see it differently now. You have more wisdom. You have more scar, which means you have more authority. I am also bringing the resources to you. Notice how the means to fulfill the dream are starting to appear. You are meeting the right people. You are stumbling upon the right information. The technology is available now that wasn't available then. I am aligning the physical resources with the spiritual timing. I want you to pursue this with joy. The numbness is breaking off. You are allowing yourself to hope again. That is dangerous, I know. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Do not be afraid to hope. Pick up the pen. Pick up the pen. Pick up the phone. Dust off the business plan. I am breathing on it. I am endorsing it. The dream is returning because it is time for it to be born. Bush, my beloved. Wait. Pause. Do not let the distractions of this world pull you from my presence. We are walking on holy ground, and I have not yet shown you how to fully align your heart with mine. If you leave now, you leave your resurrection half finished. It breaks my heart when you come this close to the breakthrough and then settle for the shadows. Do not disappoint the destiny I have prepared for you. Press in deeper. I have more to say. My child, just as I am resurrecting the dreams you thought were dead, I invite you now to sow a seed of life into this ministry. I have brought you to this channel not by accident, but to feed your spirit. Now, I ask you to help me feed the multitudes who are still starving for this truth. Do not just wait for your harvest. Trigger it by sowing into my kingdom, for as my servant Paul declared, he who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. Your gift today is not merely a donation. It is a prophetic act that says, Lord, I trust you with my resources and my future. I am watching over this ministry to reach the broken, and I am watching over your hand as you give to ensure your vat overflows. Do not hold back the seed when I have promised the rain. Support this mission now through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link below, and watch me open the windows of heaven over the very dream you are praying for. I wanted to talk to you about what you want. For a long time, you have been afraid of your own desires. You have been taught that everything you want is selfish, carnal, or wrong. You have spent years fighting yourself, trying to kill your ambition, thinking that piety means having no personality. But I want you to read my promise again. Delight yourself in the Lord, and I will give you the desires of your heart. I am not just giving you what you want, I am placing my desires into your heart until your want becomes my will. I am performing a heart transplant within you. I am taking out the stony heart of selfish ambition, the need to be famous, the need to prove people wrong, the need to be rich just to feel secure. I am replacing it with a heart of flesh that beats in rhythm with mine. Have you noticed that your motivations are changing? You used to want success so people would clap for you. Now, you want success so you can help people. You used to want money for toys. Now you want money for the kingdom. This shift is the sign. When your desire is to bless, to build, and to serve, you can trust your desire. I am bringing you into the unity of will. This is a beautiful place to live. It is the place where duty turns into delight. You are finding that the very things I'm calling you to do are the things you actually love to do. It feels natural. It feels like you were made for it. You are like a fish discovering water or a bird discovering the sky. You don't have to force it. When you are in my will, you are in your element. Stop thinking that serving me is to be miserable to be holy. I created you with specific passions for reason. I put that love for numbers or words or children or construction or justice in you. Use it. I want you to experience freedom from striving. There is a difference between working for approval and working from approval. You are not working to get me to love you. I already love you completely. You are not working to prove your worth to the world. Your worth was settled at the cross. Now you work from a place of rest. You strive for excellence, yes, but not out of anxiety. You work hard, but your soul is at ease. This is the easy yoke I promised. If the burden is chafing your neck, if it is raw and bleeding, you are carrying a load I didn't give you, or you are carrying it the wrong way. Focus on the glory. This is the final check. Ask yourself, if I get what I want, who gets the glory? If the answer is only you, the desire is not yet aligned. But I see your heart. I see that you want to point back to me. You want your life to be a signpost that says, look what God did. Because your heart is aligned, I am about to release you to run. Run with your desires. Chase them. Because in chasing them, you are chasing me. The light is green. Go. I need you to breathe deeply and listen to what I am about to say, because I know you are frustrated. I know you hate the hallway you are standing in right now. You are checking the calendar. You are looking at the clock. You are watching other people get promoted, get married, buy houses, and step into their dreams while you feel like you are stuck in mud. You are asking me, why is this taking so long? You feel like I have forgotten the schedule. But I want you to know, the waiting room is not a dungeon. It is a classroom. And you are not waiting on me, I am waiting on you. I am testing your patience, because I am building your character. You want the promise right now, but if I gave you the weight of that blessing before your spiritual muscles were developed enough to carry it, it would crush you. You are praying for a giant oak tree, but you are frustrated that it is growing slower than a mushroom. Mushrooms grow overnight, but they are fragile. Oaks take decades, but they withstand storms. I am growing an oak anew. I am using this delay to cultivate long-suffering, the ability to suffer long and keep your joy. This is a fruit of the Spirit that cannot be downloaded. It must be grown. I am breaking the idol of immediacy in your life. You live in a world that worships now. You get food in 5 minutes. You get messages in 1 second. You get entertainment on demand. This addiction to instant gratification has poisoned your spiritual walk. You treat me like a vending machine. You put in a prayer and expect a miracle to drop out instantly. But I am not a machine. I am a father. I am weaning you off the addiction to the quick fix so you can learn the value of the deep work. I am slowing you down on purpose. I am forcing you to sit still until you stop twitching with anxiety. This is a trust exercise. It is easy to trust me when things are happening fast. It is easy to sing psalms of praise when the checks are in the mail and the phone is ringing. But do you trust me when the line is flat? Do you trust me in the silence? I am watching you. I am looking to see if you will take matters into your own hands like Sarah did with Hagar, or if you will wait for the son of promise like Abraham. Proving that you trust my timing more than your own timeline is the final exam of this season. Stop trying to kick open doors I have not unlocked yet. I am strengthening your roots. When a tree is in a drought, It sends its roots deeper into the earth to find water. You are in a drought of visible activity right now so that your roots will go down deep into me. You are learning to find your satisfaction in my presence, not in my presence. You are learning to pray when you don't feel like it. You are learning to read the word when it feels dry. This secret growth is invisible to the world, but it is visible to me. I am never late. I am rarely early, but I am always on time. The clock is ticking in your favor. Hold on. I know you have been looking at your bank account with a knot in your stomach. I know you have been doing the math at 2:00 a.m., and the numbers are not adding up. You are looking at the rising cost of living, the bills on the table, and the uncertainty of your income, and you feel fear gripping your throat. You feel like you are in a wilderness where resources are scarce. But listen to me. The wilderness is the place where I prove that I am God. You are about to learn the manna principle. I am teaching you to trust me for daily bread. You want a warehouse full of grain for the next 10 years so you can feel secure. But I want you to look to me every single day. The Israelites had to go out every morning to gather manna. If they tried to hoard it, it rotted. I am bringing you to a place of daily dependence. When you wake up, I want your first thought to be, Father, feed me today, not Father, secure my retirement. I will supply all your needs, but I often do it just in time, and just enough. This keeps your eyes locked on my hand, not on your stockpile. I will bring water from the rock. You are looking for provision in the usual places, your job, your family, the government. But I am going to surprise you. I am going to bring resources from the most dry, hard, and unlikely places. I will cause people who don't even like you to bless you. I will open a stream of income from a source you never considered. Do not limit me to your paycheck. Your job is a resource. I am the source. If I have to command a rock to split open to sustain you, I will do it. Expect the miraculous in the middle of the mundane. Notice the shoes that did not wear out. In the wilderness, for 40 years the Israelites' clothes did not rot, and their feet did not swell. I am doing this for you right now. Look at what you have. That car that keeps running when it should have broken down. That appliance that is still working past its warranty. The health in your body that keeps you going without expensive medicine. I am sustaining what you have until the new arrives. I am stretching your resources supernaturally. You are surviving on less than you thought possible, and yet, you are still standing. That is my sustaining grace. I am sending the ravens delivery. Remember Elijah. I commanded ravens, dirty, greedy birds, to bring him meat and bread. I will use unconventional methods to provide for you. Do not be too proud to accept help. Do not be too proud to take the odd job. Do not be too proud to receive a gift. I am humbling you to receive provision in a way that gives me all the glory. You will look back on this season and say, only God could have done that. I want you to experience the Jehovah Jireh revelation. Jireh means the Lord will see to it. I see your need before you even feel it. I have already dispatched the solution. Give me your loaves and fish, that tiny bit of faith, that small amount of money, that little bit of energy you have left. Put it in my hands. Watch me break it, bless it, and multiply it. You will not go under. You will not beg for bread. I am your provider. Trust me. You have been running around asking for a sign, asking for a prophetic word, asking for advice from everyone you know. But I see your Bible sitting on the shelf, closed. You are scrolling through social media for hours looking for wisdom, but you are starving your spirit of the truth. My child, the sign you are looking for is already written. I am calling you back to the book. I want you to find clarity not in a horoscope, not in a fortune cookie, but in my living word. I want to give you a Rema word. There is Logos, the written word, and there is Rema, the spoken word. This is when a specific verse jumps off the page and explodes in your heart. You have read it 100 times before, but today, it reads you. It speaks directly to your marriage, your job, your fear. It feels like electricity. That is my spirit highlighting the text. That is me speaking. But you cannot get the Rema if you do not read the Logos. Open the pages. Give me something to work with. My word is a lamp under your feet. Notice I said a lamp, my spotlight. You want a floodlight that shows you the next 10 years of your life. You want to see the destination before you start the journey. But I give you a lantern. It casts just enough light for the very next step. It shows you where to place your foot right now so you don't stumble. If you can see the next step, that is enough. Take that step. Then, the light will move forward. Stop demanding the whole map and trust the lamp. Use the sword of the Spirit. You are confused because the enemy is lying to you. It tells you that you are a failure, that you are alone, that there is no hope. You cannot fight these thoughts with positive thinking. You must fight them with it is written. When Jesus was tested, he did argue. He quoted scripture. I want you to memorize my promises. When anxiety comes, pull out the sword. Be anxious for nothing. When fear comes, pull out the sword. God has not given me a spirit of fear. Cut through the confusion with the razor-sharp edge of my truth. My word is the anchor for your soul. Your emotions are turbulent. One day you are up. The next day you are down. You feel tossed by the waves of circumstances. You need something that does not move. My word never changes. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will by no means pass away. When you feel like you are drowning in feelings, grab hold of a verse. Cling to it. Let it stabilize you. Say, I don't feel like it, but God said it, and that settles it. Let the word be the mirror of truth. You can lie to yourself. Your friends can flatter you. But my word tells you the truth. It reveals the condition of your heart. It shows you where you are being selfish, where you are being proud, where you are holding a grudge. Do not turn away from the mirror. Let it correct you. Let it wash you. The clarity you seek is waiting for you in the pages you are neglecting. Read. I am coming after the chains that have held you and your family for generations. You know what I am talking about. A temper that your father had, and his father had, and now you feel it rising in you. A tendency toward addiction. A crushing anxiety. That poverty mindset that says, we will never get ahead. You have accepted these things as just the way I am. But I say to you today, it ends with you. I am breaking the cycle. I am bringing deliverance from addiction. I see the secret habits you hide. I see the way you turn to food, or drink, or the screen, or substances to numb the pain. You have tried to stop in your own strength. You have made promises to yourself in the morning only to break them by the evening. You feel ashamed. But shame is a chain, and I am here to shatter it. I am giving you the supernatural power to say no to what once enslaved you. This is not about willpower. This is about one power, my power working in you. I am healing your memories. The pain of the past is a heavy chain. You are dragging the corpse of yesterday into your tomorrow. The abuse, the betrayal, the harsh words spoken over you as a child, they are still playing on a loop in your mind. I am walking into those memories with you. I am showing you where I was when that happened. I am pouring the oil of Gilead into those deep wounds. You will remember the event, but the sting will be gone. The poison is being drained out. You are being set free from the tyranny of the past. I am calling you to the forgiveness of enemies. This is the hardest chain to break, but it is the most necessary. Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Unforgiveness blocks your blessings. It keeps you tied to the person who hurt you. I'm commanding you to let them go. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who use you. As you release them, the handcuffs fall off your own wrists. I am removing the garment of shame. You have walked with your head down, feeling unworthy, feeling like damaged goods. You think everyone can see your failures, but I am stripping those filthy rags off of you. I am engaging in a divine exchange. I take your shame, you take my righteousness. I am clothing you in dignity. I am lifting your chin. Look at me. You are not what you did. You are not what was done to you. You are who I say you are. You are stepping into a new identity. You are no longer an orphan. You are a son. You are no longer a victim. You are a victor. Stop talking like a slave. Stop thinking like a prisoner. The door is open. The chains are on the floor. Step out of the cell. Walk in the freedom for which Christ has set you free. Listen closely. I am breaking chains off your life, but the work is not yet complete. If you leave now, you are choosing to carry burdens I intend to remove right here, right now. Do not choose the chains over my freedom. It sorrows me deeply to see you walk away while you are still bound. I am asking you, no, I am commanding you, to stay until the work is finished. Your next breakthrough requires total separation. You not leave before the blessing is sealed. My child, you have been feeling lonely lately. You look around at your friends, your coworkers, even some of your family, and you feel a distance. You don't laugh at the same jokes anymore. You don't want to go to the same parties. You feel awkward, like a piece of a puzzle that doesn't fit. You have been crying out, asking, why am I so alone? Listen to me. I have called you to be separate. The word holy means set apart. I am setting you apart from myself. I am enforcing the holiness requirement. You cannot carry my glory and carry the world's garbage at the same time. I am cleaning house. I am making you uncomfortable in environments that used to feel normal. The TV show you used to watch, and now it disgusts you. That conversation full of gossip, now it grieves your spirit. This is good. This is the Holy Spirit sensitizing you to sin. Do not override this feeling. Do not try to fit back in. I am pulling you out of the mud so I can wash you. You are walking the narrow path. The broad path is crowded, is easy. Everyone is going that way. But the sign I have placed on your life points to the narrow gate. It is a lonely road. There is not much company, but it is the only road that leads to life. You are going to have to make choices that make no sense to the crowd. They will call you rigid. They will call you a fanatic. They will say you are too religious. Let them talk. You are not living for their applause. You are living for my will done. I am teaching you the cost of discipleship. Salvation is free, but the anointing costs everything. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. Jesus was misunderstood. Even his own family thought he was crazy. Are you willing to look foolish for my sake? Are you willing to lose a reputation to gain a destiny? I am testing your allegiance. I am asking you to choose me over popularity. I am taking you through the purification process. I am the refitter's fire. Fire burns away the dross, the impurities, the heat you feel right now, the pressure, the isolation that is the kiln. I am burning away your pride, your ego, your self-reliance, your need for human validation. There it's it. I know it hurts. But when you come out, you will come out as pure gold. You will reflect my image clearly. I am helping you set boundaries. You have to learn to say no. You have to say no to the good so you can say yes to the best. You cannot be available to everyone and be available to me. Guard your time. Guard your heart. Guard your eyes. I am calling you into sacred solitude. Do not run from the quiet. In the quiet, I download the strategies for your life. In the quiet, I heal your nervous system. In the quiet, we become lovers. Embrace the separation. It is out of petticoat. It is of emotion. My child, do not be surprised by the battle you are facing right now. I know you feel like you are under fire. You wake up feeling heavy. You feel a sudden pressure in your mind, a barrage of negative thoughts, or sudden conflict in your home that seems to come out of nowhere. You are asking, Lord, what did I do wrong? But I am here to tell you, you did nothing wrong. You are doing something right. The increase of spiritual warfare is not a sign of my absence. It is a sign of your promotion. You must see the resistance as confirmation. Think about an airplane. When it sits on the runway, there is no resistance. But the moment it takes off, the moment it tries to go higher, it meets the resistance of the wind. You are meeting resistance because you are ascending. The enemy does not waste his ammunition on empty targets. He does not attack those who are asleep. He attacks those who are waking up. He attacks those who are dangerous to his kingdom. If you were not a threat, he would leave you alone. Take the intensity of the attack as a compliment to the greatness of your destiny. I want you to identify the thief's strategy. Jesus told you that the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. He is trying to steal your peace. He is trying to kill your dream before it is born. He is trying to destroy your relationships. But I want you to see his hand. When you see sudden chaos, do not react with your flesh. Do not scream at your spouse or quit your job. Pause. Recognize the source. Say, this is not my family, this is an attack. When you expose the enemy, he loses his power. You need to put on the armor of God. You cannot fight a spiritual battle with physical weapons. You cannot fight this anxiety with logic or medication alone. You need the belt of truth to hold you together when lies are swirling. You need the breastplate of righteousness to protect your heart from guilt and shame. You need the shield of faith to extinguish the fiery darts of fear. This is not just a metaphor. This is your uniform. Every morning, consciously put it on. Say, Lord, I am covered in your armor. I have given you this equipment because I expect you to win. Use the power of praise. This is your heavy artillery. When the battle is loudest, your praise should be louder. The enemy cannot stand the sound of a believer rejoicing in the middle of a storm. It confuses him. It breaks his hold. When you feel the darkest, sing. When you feel the heaviest, shout my name. Praise is not just a song. It is a weapon of mass destruction against the powers of darkness. It shifts the atmosphere instantly. I am reminding you of the authority given to you. You are not a helpless victim. I have given you authority to trample on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. You have the name that is above every name. Use it. Speak to the mountain. Speak to the storm. Do not beg the devil to leave. Command him to go in Jesus' name. Stand your ground. The victory is already assured because I have already overcome the world. You are fighting from victory, not for victory. I know you have walked a lowly road for a long time. You have felt like you had to carry the weight of your vision, your family, and your struggles all by yourself. You have looked to the left and to the right and found no one who truly understood. But I am changing that. I see your isolation, and I am declaring an end to it. One of the clearest signs that you are entering a new season is the arrival of divine helpers. I am sending reinforcements. I am sending a Jonathan to your David. You need a covenant friend. Someone who loves you as their own soul. Someone who doesn't want anything from you but wants everything for you. This is the friend who will strengthen your hand in God when you are weak. He will remind you of who you are when you have forgotten. Keep your eyes open. This person may not look like the friends you have had in the past. They may be from a different background or a different generation, but you will recognize them by their spirit. There will be an instant connection, a safety, a knowing that this person is for me. I'm connecting you with a mentor's wisdom. You have been trying to figure it all out by trial and error. But I am sending you someone who has already walked the path you are on. They have the scars and the trophies to prove it. They will give you the keys that will save you years of frustration. When you meet them, humble yourself. Listen more than you speak. Ask questions. Their wisdom is a gift I am giving you to accelerate your journey. Do not let pride keep you from learning. I am raising up intercessors for you. You may never know their names. They may be people you see in passing, or people in another country. But I have woken them up in the middle of the night with your face on their mind. I have burdened them to pray for you. You have felt the lift in your spirit recently, haven't you? A sudden burst of strength. That was their prayer hitting the mark. You are being held up by invisible hands. You are part of a body that supports its own. I am sending burden bearers. There are practical loads you are carrying that are too heavy. I am sending people to help you lift them. It might be someone offering to babysit, or someone helping you with a project, or someone giving you financial advice. These are my agents of relief. Let them help you. You have a martyr complex where you think you have to do it all to be worthy. Stop it. Receive the help. It is my way of loving you. I am sending the encourager's word. You have been close to quitting. I saw you. But then a text message came. A card arrived. A stranger spoke a kind word. That was Barnabas, the son of encouragement, sent by me. I will make sure that every time you run out of fuel, someone appears with a gas can. You are not alone. You are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses and a community of faith on earth. Look around. Your tribe is finding you. My child, I want you to pay attention to your tears. I want you to pay attention to your anger. What is it that disturbs you more than anything else? What is the one problem in the world that you cannot just scroll past? Is it the hungry child? Is it the victim of trafficking? Is it the broken political system? Is it the lack of discipleship in the church? That burden you feel is not accidental. It is prophetic. It is a clue to your specific assignment. I am using heartbreak to steer you. Most people run away from pain. They change the chow. They look away. But you find that you cannot look away. Your heart breaks for a specific group of people. That heartbreak is my heart transplanted into you. I am looking for someone to stand in the gap, and I have chosen you. Do not numb this pain. Let it ruin you for the ordinary. Let it drive you to say, someone has to do something about this, and then realize that someone is you. I am stirring a righteous anger within you. There is a difference between human anger, which is selfish, and righteous anger, which is constructive. You are angry at the injustice. You are angry at the enemy's work. This anger is a fuel. It is the energy you need to destroy the works of darkness. Moses was angry at the slavery of his people. David was angry at the giant mocking his God. Jesus was angry at the money changers preventing worship. Your anger is a sign of your authority. I am giving you the sword to cut the head off that giant. I am giving you a solution mindset. Notice that while others are just complaining about the problem, you are getting ideas on how to fix it. You wake up with strategies. You find yourself researching, planning, and dreaming of a better way. That is the mind of Christ working in you. I am downloading the blueprints of heaven into your brain. You are not just a feeler. You are a builder. I am giving you the wisdom to solve problems that have baffled others. I am releasing a compassion flow. This is supernatural love. You will find yourself loving people who are hard to love. You will have patience for the addict, or the prisoner, or the orphan that makes no sense to the natural mind. This is my love flowing through you like a river. It is inexhaustible. When you pour yourself out, I will fill you back up. I am calling you to the ministry of reconciliation. You are an ambassador. You are called to bridge the gap. Whether it is in business, in education, in the family, or in the streets, you are called to bring my kingdom to that specific sphere. Do not despise the burden. It is heavy, yes, but it is your cross to carry, and in carrying it, you will find your true life. You were saved for this. You were born for such a time as this. Embrace the cause. I need you to let go of the rearview mirror. You are trying to drive forward into your destiny, but your eyes are fixed on what is behind you. You are replaying the scenes of your past mistakes. You are thinking, if only I had taken that job. If only I hadn't married that person. If only I had saved more money. My child, if only is the language of the grave. It brings death. I am calling you to the language of life. I am calling you to release the regret. I am giving you freedom from what if. You cannot change the past. You cannot turn back the clock. But I can redeem the time. I am the God who restores the years that the locusts have eaten. You think you have wasted too much time. You think you are too old or too far behind. But one day in my favor is worth 1,000 years of human striving. I can accelerate you. I can get you to your destination faster than if you had never messed up. Trust my redemption math. It doesn't follow human logic. You need to accept the grace for today. My grace is sufficient. That means it is enough. It covers the sin, the mistake, the failure, and the stupidity. You are beating yourself up for things I have already thrown into the sea of forgetfulness. If I don't remember them, why do you keep fishing them up? You are honoring your guilt more than you are honoring my blood. Stop it. Accept the forgiveness. It is a gift. You cannot earn it, you can only receive it. I want you to extract the lesson. There is wisdom in your wounds. Don't wallow in the failure. Learn from it. What did it teach you? It taught you humility. It taught you what not to do. It taught you to rely on me. If you learned the lesson, then the pain was not wasted. Take the wisdom and leave the pain. You are smarter now. You are stronger now. You are better equipped to handle the future because of what you survived in the past. You must practice self-forgiveness. This is often harder than forgiving others. You hold yourself to a standard of perfection that I never set for you. You are human. You are dust. I know your frame. Treat yourself with the same kindness I have shown you. Speak to yourself gently. Say, I forgive you. You did the best you could with what you knew then. Now we know better, so we do better. Be your own best friend, not your own accuser. I'm calling you to look forward. Paul said, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are ahead. You have to reach forward. You have to stretch. Your future is bright. Your future is unstained. Your future is full of hope. Do not let the shadow of yesterday darken the light of tomorrow. Get the row. Let the past drift away. Turn your face to the sun. I'm doing a new thing. Can you not perceive it? My beloved, we are nearing the Holy of Holies of this conversation. You have felt the stirring, but you have not yet received the mantle of power. To stop now would be like turning back at the very edge of the promised land. Do not break my heart by stopping inches from the finish line. I have saved the most urgent, life-altering instruction for the very end. Today, finish this race with me. Your commissioning awaits. You have released the regrets of yesterday. Now, I call you to invest in a future that will never fade by partnering with me in this work. There are thousands wandering in the darkness right now, lost in the very pain I have just set you free from, and your giving is the lamp that will guide them home. I am calling you to be a co-laborer with me, to cast your bread upon the waters, knowing that it will return to you on a wave of my favor. This is your opportunity to redeem the time by turning your temporal money into eternal souls, storing up treasures where no thief can steal. Give, and it will be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is my covenant with the generous heart. Do not let this moment of grace pass you by without sealing it with an offering. Click the super thanks, join as a member, or use the link below to sow your seed today, and I will make your life a sign of my abundance. I am walking through the garden of your life, and I am watering seeds that have been buried for a long time. I am talking about your gifts, your talents, the things I put inside you that make you, you. You had hidden them. You buried them out of fear, or because someone told you they weren't practical, or because you were busy just trying to survive. But today I am commanding you to dig them up. I am pointing to the unburied talent. You know what it is. It's that ability to write, to sing, to organize, to build, to listen, to design. It's the thing that comes naturally to you. Recently, you have felt an urge to do it again. You picked up the instrument. You opened the notebook. You felt that spark. That is me. I am blowing on the embers. I want you to use what I gave you. I did not give you that gift to hide it under a basket. I gave it to you to light up the house. You will feel the anointing to function. When you operate in your gift, you will feel my pleasure. It's like the wind catching a kite. Suddenly, it's not hard. It's effortless. You lose track of time. You feel alive. You feel powerful. That is the anointing. It is my power flowing through your natural ability. When you feel that flow, write it. That is your sweet spot. That is where you are most dangerous to the enemy and most helpful to the kingdom. Notice the ease of execution. Watch for the things that are hard for others, but easy for you. Others struggle to understand numbers, but you see patterns instantly. Others are terrified to speak in public, but you feel at home on a stage. Others can't fix a broken engine, but your hands just know what to do. At ease is a sign of your calling. Do not despise it because it is easy. Value it because it is yours. I'm bringing public recognition. People are starting to notice. They are complimenting you on your gift. They are asking you for help in that specific area. They are saying, you are really good at this. You should do this for a living. Listen to them. I use the voices of others to affirm what I have placed in you. When you receive a compliment, do not deflect it. Say thank you and give the glory to me. I want you to use your gift to serve. The gift is not just for you. It is for the body. Use it to edify. Use it to encourage. Use it to solve problems. As you pour out, I will pour in. This is the principle of multiplication. If you use the 1 talent, I will give you 5 more. If you use the 5, I will give you 10. But if you bury it, you lose it. The stirring you feel is an invitation to stewardship. As of the gift. Acknowledge it. Practice it. The world is waiting for what you carry. My child, I want you to stop looking for me out there. You look for me in the sky, in the church building, or in the distant future. But I want you to know that I am closer than the air you are breathing right now. The sign I am giving you is the tangible sense of the shadow of the Almighty. To be in someone's shadow, you have to be standing right next to them. You cannot be in the shadow of a distant object. If you feel a covering over your life, a sense that you are being watched over, not with judgment, but with protection, it is because I am walking right beside you. I want to speak to the grief you are carrying. I know there is a void in your heart left by someone you lost, or a relationship that died, or a season that ended. You feel that empty space every day. You wake up and remember they are gone. But notice something. You have not been consumed. You have not been destroyed by the sorrow. Why? Because I have poured my presence into that void like liquid gold. I am filling the cracks of your broken heart with myself. I am the God of all comfort. I am not just sending comfort. I am the comfort. When you feel a sudden warmth in your chest when you are crying, that is me holding you. I am giving you the courage to stand. Think of a child on a playground. If they are alone, they are timid. But if their father is standing right behind them, they are bold. They will face any bully. They will climb any height. You are feeling a new boldness rising in you. You are speaking up where you used to stay silent. You are taking risks you used to avoid. This is not because you have changed. It is because your awareness of my presence has changed. You know I am backing you up. You know that if you fall, I catch you. This boldness is the evidence of my nearness. I am inviting you into the intimacy of prayer. Prayer has changed for you, hasn't it? It used to be a duty. It used to be a list of demands. Now, it is a conversation. You find yourself talking to me while you drive, while you wash the dishes, while you shower. You talk to me like I am in the room, because I am. These ongoing, whisper conversations are the lifeline of our relationship. I love hearing your voice. I love it when you tell me about your day, even though I already know. This intimacy is the sign that the veil hath been torn. There is no distance between us. I am giving you an awareness of glory. You are starting to see my fingerprints on everything. You look at a sunset and you don't just see colors, you see my art. You look at a coincidental meeting and you see my orchestration. You look at your children sleeping and you see my grace. Your eyes are being opened to the spiritual reality that overlays your physical world. You are living in 2 worlds at once. This awareness is a gift. It is me letting you peek behind the curtain to see that I am involved in every microscopic detail of your existence. Finally, hear my promise. I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Humans leave. Friends move away. Spouses can walk out. Children grow up and leave the nest. But I am the constant. I am the stillness in the center of your chaos. I am the silence that listens. I am the hand that holds. No matter where you go, no matter how deep the pit, no matter how dark the night, If you reach out your hand, you will touch my face. I am here. I am here. I am here. My child, do you feel the quickening in your spirit? Do you feel that sense that time is moving faster, that the stakes are higher? That is not just anxiety, that is the recognition of Kairos time. In Greek, chronos is just the ticking of the clock, but Kairos is the appointed time, the opportune moment. You are living in a Kairos moment. I am alerting you to the urgency of the hour because I do not want you to miss the window of opportunity that is opening before you. This is not a time to sleep. This is not a time to be passive. This is the time to act. I am impressing upon you the shortness of time. The night is coming when no man can work. I don't say this to scare you, but to focus you. If you knew you only had 1 month to live, you would stop worrying about petty arguments. You would stop scrolling on your phone for hours. You would focus on what matters. I want you to live with that intensity now. Stop saying someday. Someday I will forgive. Someday I will serve. Someday I will give. There is no someday. There is only today. Today is the day of salvation. Today is the day of obedience. I am calling you to the harvest. Look at the fields. They are white and ready for harvest. Look at the people around you. They are broken, confused, and searching for answers. They are hungry for what you have. I have put a light inside of you, and the world is getting darker. The darker the world gets, the brighter your light must shine. I need you in the field. I don't need you sitting in the barn polishing the tractors. I need you out in the field bringing in the sheaves. Your family needs your prayers. Your workplace needs your integrity. Your city needs your love. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Be a laborer. I am motivating you with love, not fear. I do not want you running around in a panic. Panic produces mistakes. I want you to run with purpose. The urgency I give is driven by love. When you see a child running toward a busy street, you run after them with urgency, not because you are angry, but because you love them and want to save them. That is how I want you to view your assignment. Love the people enough to tell them the truth. Love your destiny enough to pursue it with passion. Let the love of Christ constrain you and propel you forward. I am helping you prioritize eternity. You are waking up to the reality that this life is a vapor. It is a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. You are building things that will burn, and you are ignoring things that will last forever. I am shaking your priorities. I am making the temporary things look faded so that the eternal things will look bright. Invest in souls. Invest in the Word. Invest in character. These are the only things you can take with you when you leave this earth. Consider this your wake-up call. I am sounding the alarm in your spirit. Ring. Ring. Wake up. The slumber is over. Shake off the lethargy. Shake off the depression. Wash your face. Put on your shoes. I have an assignment for you that is time-sensitive. The sign you have been asking for is this internal pressure to move. Do not hit the snooze button again. Step into the day I have made. The clock is ticking, but my grace is sufficient for the moment. Move now. We have arrived at the most difficult and the most beautiful part of this conversation. This is your Gethsemane moment. Just as my son Jesus knelt in the garden, sweating drops of blood, and said, "Not my will, but yours be done," I am bringing you to that same garden. You have been fighting for control. You have a picture in your mind of how your life is supposed to look, and because it doesn't look like that, you are fighting me. You are kicking against the goads. But true peace, The peace you are desperate for is found only on the other side of surrender. I am calling you to the altar of sacrifice. I want you to bring your Isaac. Isaac represents the promise you love the most. It represents the thing you think you cannot live without. For Abraham, it was his son. For you, it might be your reputation, your desire for marriage, your career goals, or your need to be right. I am asking you to lay it on the altar. I am asking you to open your hands and say, Lord, even if I never get this, I still choose you. This is the ultimate test. I don't want to take your Isaac to destroy it. I want to see if you love the gift more than the giver. When you release it, I can give it back to you with a blessing, or I can give you something better. But you must let go. I am looking for the death of the ego. I be mine. These words have dominated your vocabulary. You are offended because your feelings were hurt. You are worried because your plans were ruined. I am calling you to die to yourself. It sounds painful, I know. It sounds like losing. But in my kingdom, death is the doorway to resurrection. When you die to the need to be in control, you rise in my power. When you die to the need for approval, you rise in true confidence. Let the seed fall into the ground and die so it can bear much fruit. I need you to trust in the dark. Surrender is easy when you can see the safety net. But I am asking you to fall back into the darkness, trusting that I will catch you. You don't know how I am going to fix this financial mess. You don't know how I'm going to heal this relationship. Obey me anyway. Do the right thing even when the outcome looks impossible. This blind trust is the purest form of worship. It says, God, you are good, even when my circumstances are bad. I want total dependence. I am bringing you to the end of your rope so that you will grab hold of mine. You have been trying to be the CEO of your own life, and look at the stress it has caused you. You are tired. You are burnt out. Resign. Give me the keys. Let me drive. Acknowledge that apart from me, you can do nothing. Absolutely nothing. But with me, you can do all things. Shift the weight from your shoulders to mine. My shoulders are broad enough to carry the universe. They can carry your problems. This is the ultimate freedom. You think surrender means captivity, but it actually means liberty. The moment you say, Lord, do whatever you want, the anxiety evaporates. You don't have to figure it out anymore. You don't have to manipulate outcomes anymore. You are free to just be my child. You are free to play, to rest, to live. Become my bondservant, bound to me by love, and you will find a freedom that the kings of this world never know. Bow down, so I can lift you up. Surrender, and win. My beloved child, we are at the end of this conversation, but we are at the beginning of your new life. You have heard my voice. You have felt my stirring. You have recognized the signs. Now, I want you to imagine my hand resting heavily and warmly upon your shoulder. I am not just speaking to you. I am imparting into you. Receive my final blessing as you step across the threshold into this new season. I give you the command to go. Do not stand here gazing up into heaven. Do not stay stuck in analysis paralysis. I have given you the green light. Move forward. Take the first step. Write the first page. Make the first call. Apologize to that person. Forgive that debt. Apply for that position. As you move, the Red Sea will part. It will not part while you are standing on the shore waiting. It parts when your feet touch the water. Go with confidence, knowing that the I Am is sending you. I give you the promise of power. You are not going in your own strength. If you go in your own strength, you will fail. but you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you. I am anointing you afresh right now. Feel it, like oil running down your head. It is the power to witness, the power to endure, the power to overcome. I am giving you supernatural stamina. Where you used to faint, you will run and not be weary. Where you used to stumble, you will walk and not faint. My grace is the wind at your back. I am giving you the shield of favor. My favor will surround you like a shield. Favor means that people will like you and help you, and they won't even know why. Favor means that rules will be bent for your sake. Favor means that you will be preferred above others who are more qualified on paper. This favor is not fair, it is grace. Wearing, expecting. Walk into rooms expecting goodness and mercy to follow you all the days of your life. I am focusing you on the legacy. You are not just living for the weekend, you are building for generations. The chains you break today will not bind your children. The prayers you pray today will be answered in your grandchildren's lives. You are a pioneer. You are clearing a path. Take this seriously. You are planting trees under whose shade you may never sit, but your descendants will eat the fruit. Be faithful to the future I am showing you. And now, receive the benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Go in peace, my child. Go in power. Go in love. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. I love you. I love you. I love you. Now go. You have received my blessing and my commissioning. Now, seal this word by planting a seed that will outlast you. You are building a legacy, my child, and this ministry is the fertile soil where I am growing a harvest that will feed generations to come. I am asking you to stand with me, to strengthen the hands that prepare this table, so that this message of hope reaches the ends of the earth before I return. Every gift you give is a lifeline thrown to a drowning soul, a prophetic declaration that my kingdom is your highest priority. My word promises that I will make all grace abound toward the cheerful giver, so that you will have an abundance for every good work I call you to do. Do not leave my presence without honoring me with your substance. Click the super thanks, become a member, or give through the link below right now. Sow into my house, and I will build yours. My child, do not let this moment fade into silence. Seal this word now with a prophetic act of agreement. I call you to make a public declaration, for faith spoken is faith established. Go to the comments below and write, I accept my sign, as a testimony that you are awake and ready for the new season I am releasing. By writing these words, you are shattering the silence of the enemy and aligning your heart with my sovereign plan. I am watching over your declaration to perform it. Speak it now and step into your destiny. Amen.